is whiff.
Courage, determination, excellence. These are not just Jackie's values. They were a part of America's promise. In every child who dares to dream, in every voice that lifts and inspires others, Jackie lives on. Today we all carry him. In every place where someone dares to belong, Jackie is not just baseball history, he is America's history. We are Jackie Robinson, and we all belong in this game.
His first pitch of the day. Ohtani is all over it. A towering shot in the air to right, and it is gone.
Back-to-back days for Ohtani with leadoff home runs.
And he hits another high fly ball to left. That one's deep. That one's back. That one is gone. Walker 6 homers in his last 8 games.
Jose Soriano will leave this start as the major league leader in strikeouts. He now has 31 in his first 4 starts.
Harris back at the warning track, leaps up, and he makes the catch.
He just took away a home run.
This is way back, and goodbye. His second home run. Back up the middle, caught by Terang. He's emerging as one of the great players in the game right now. Already a special talent defensively, but he's added the homers, the offense.
Academy Award came to life. How long do you think that took to get ready?
You know, it's really not fun facing a guy with that kind of stuff, I'll just tell you that.
Presented without comment.
It's a raft, it's got an outboard motor, it's got a little barbecue, and it's got a hot tub.
Look at that.
I mean, come on.
American ingenuity.
That is living. What else can go wrong here?
Where are the Angels in the outfield? They're everywhere.
The MLB app. Yeah, it's got game. This game. These games. All the games. Pre-game. Post-game. And everything in between. This is baseball your way. With real-time stats, scores, breaking news, and custom content that hits every time. Because you choose the teams and pick the players you want to follow. So when they catch it on the field, you catch it on the app.
That's up the middle, base set. Maddox makes a turn. Here comes the throw. It's going to be close. He's going to miss. Zach, he didn't touch it. This is bizarre, folks. This is bizarre. That's unreal.
What do you think? You ever seen that play before like that?
I've never seen anything like it.
Are brought to you by our friends at Pro Lawn Plus, delivering home run lawns all season long. I'm Ben Wagner next to Brett Hollander. It's a rubber match on getaway day for both of these clubs. The Orioles will return to action starting tomorrow night in Cleveland against the Guardians. Meanwhile, an off day for the Dbacks as they head west to the desert before beginning their next homestand in what for Arizona has been a very successful road trip, winning their series against the New York Mets, then taking 2 out of 3 against the Philadelphia Phillies. And then the same scenario unfolding for them today against the Orioles, who are trying to win another series in a row. They had great success on the road with a 3-game series sweep against the Chicago White Sox over the weekend. Leading into this one, a really nice continuation of their winning ways to get above 500. And before last night's setback, the Orioles playing some of their best baseball, especially in come-from-behind fashion, will come in today after losing 4-3 last night, 9-8 overall. The Diamondbacks are 10-8 on the season. And today, they'll have a left-hander on the mound to face the Birds, a former Oriole farmhand that was swapped 12 years ago. Will make the first appearance against the Orioles as a left-handed starter. Eduardo Rodriguez is pitching great. He's 1-0 with a sub-1 earned run average. And Kyle Bradish will counter for the Baltimore Orioles. Bradish has won 1 and he's dropped 2. His earned run average at 5.27. Manager Craig Albernaz said it's a little bit of Jekyll and Hyde within each start for him, but there have been flashes of brilliance, flashes of the guy that we know Kyle Bradish can be. And the manager talked about what makes Kyle Bradish his best.
Bradish is, we've seen flashes of him being the KB we all know and love. And to me, my personal take, it just starts off with his fastball location, command, and quality. When that's on with both the 4 and the 2 seam, it just opens up everything else because his ability to spin the baseball is elite. And to lean on that, he needs that fastball command with both 4 seam and 2 seam to really, get the hitters honest and also force them to make a decision.
It's Kyle Bradish on the bump today for the Baltimore Orioles, settling in for noontime nines. A quick turnaround after last night's tilt between the Diamondbacks and the Orioles. We'll take you through 1 through 9 for each of the managers and bring you today's first pitch next on the Orioles Radio Network.
Did someone say road trip? Grab the snacks, set the playlist, and hit the road with Point Breeze Credit Union's low auto loan rates. Whether you're buying a new or used car or refinancing an existing auto loan, you'll love the savings. Point Breeze Credit Union's low interest rates make it affordable. For easy, reliable banking, visit a Point Breeze office or pbcu.com/auto and apply for your auto loan today. Enjoy the ride with Point Breeze Credit Union.
Hey there, furniture fans. Are you tired of sitting in the dugout with that old beat-up chair? It's time to step up to the plate and score big with PVI Office Furniture in Frederick, Maryland. PVI.
a sartorial issue here. There's the team name, Chicago Cubs, so it does work.
It's got the right color.
Yeah, it's gray.
Maybe there was something went wrong with his other one.
1-1 to Marte, in the air, right to the guy we just showed you.
Yogi Berra was an 18-time All-Star and 10-time World Series champion.
This is the only perfect game in World Series history. You ask him about it, and he would say, it ain't been done before, and it ain't been done since.
David Wells was perfect on May 17th, 1998, Beanie Baby Day.
It's not the pitcher that's calling the game, it's the catcher calling what pitch to throw.
Home plate is 17 inches wide. And so he said, well, if it's more than an inch, and it was a lot more than an inch, then it's an illegal bat.
Well, he is. He's out. Yes, sir. He's out. Look at this.
Keep it down a little, will you, please?
Okay, Yogi.
Casey Stengel and the other touring ball players met the King of England.
Of course, with my English, we had a little trouble understanding each other.
As Yogi said, when you come to a fork in the road, take it. Go to baseballhall.org to plan your visit to the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown, New York, and catch every episode of Hall of Fame Connections on MLB.tv.
And he is cleaning up. Weston Wilson, a non-roster invite to spring training, called up with the plethora of injuries, particularly among right-handed batters for the Orioles. He's playing left field today and batting fifth. Jeremiah Jackson, who's smoking hot, he's at second base, hitting sixth. Kobe Mayo back in the lineup, hitting seventh and playing third base. Sam Huff activated today with the Orioles all spring long. He is catching and batting eighth. And Blaze Alexander will make his first start of the season in center field. He will hit ninth against his former ball club. On the mound for Arizona, the former Oriole prospect, Eduardo Rodriguez, who's having a bit of a renaissance this season. It's been a tough go for Eduardo these last few years, and the Orioles hope to get Kyle Bradish going today. He's on the mound, and the Orioles would love Ben Wagner to hit the road happy and win this rubber game and have a 4-2 homestand.
They sure would, because the Guardians are up next against the Baltimore Orioles. And the Guardians, even though they lost yesterday, are above 500 at 10-8, but only a game back of the surprising Minnesota Twins in the American League Central Division. And that's also a road trip that will take them through Kansas City. And they face one of the best players in the game in Bobby Witt Jr. Task at hand, though, win on getaway day. Diamondbacks and Orioles were ready for baseball. Home plate being dusted off by today's home plate umpire, John Tumpane. The umpire plate clean is presented by the Maryland Center of Excellence on Problem Gambling. If you or a loved one have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Our first inning is brought to you by Jones Junction. If your vehicle needs service, stop by Jones Junction, any maker model, online at jonesjunction.com. Everybody wearing number 42 on this Jackie Robinson Day. No nameplates either. It is all about Jackie. It is all about the history and the milestone and breaking the color barrier on this April 15th. And Kyle Bradish darts the first pitch fastball to Ketel Marte. Switch hitter, batting left, and he starts in the hole 0-1. Bradish back to work. Breaking ball cut on and missed by Marte, and it's quickly 0-2. Well, right out of the gate, Kyle Bradish is doing exactly what manager Craig Albert has told us he wanted to see from his right-hander. Establish the fastball, build everything off of the fastball, and get ahead. And he's done it on Marte, who homered twice on Monday night. Infield drifts to the right. Bradish comes set and brings home the 0-2 and a curveball check swing. No appeal necessary down to third where the crew chief sits. That's Chris Conroy. In the middle of the diamond, Brennan Miller and Jen Powell, the first base umpire in this series, became the first female umpire in Major League Baseball to work a game in a crew here at Camden Yards. 1-2 to Marte. Fastball on the outside corner. Strike three called. What an at bat and what a way to establish the afternoon for Kyle Bradish. On the mound for the fourth time this season. 1 up and 2 decisions down. A .527 earned run average. 71st career start for KB. And the compact windup. Now deals the left-handed Corbin Carroll, who swings and fouls it back for strike one. Carroll leads this Diamondbacks team in hits, extra base hits, runs batted in, and overall total bases. He's walked 8 times this year. 9 extra base hits, 11 driven in. A tremendous talent. One of the game's best at the plate, one of the game's fastest on the field, no matter where he is. Bradish deals, and a fly ball struck towards Rodriguez. Into the right field corner, he reaches out, and he did not make the catch cleanly. He trapped that ball as it went to the turf. Rodriguez pops up with it in his leather, and Carroll standing easily at second base. A little bit of a lollipop fly ball drifting off near the line in right field. And Jonathan Rodriguez gets an early test as Carroll takes an inside slider and hooks it towards the corner in right field for a 1-out double. And the Diamondbacks are threatening here in the first inning. Off a 3-hit night, Geraldo Perdomo, the shortstop. Switch hitter batting left. First pitch, slider in for a called strike. Torey Lovullo's lineup for the D-backs today features 4 switch hitters and 3 left-handed hitters. The first 4 in the lineup will appear against Bradish left-handed. Mayo starts in at third with a runner at second, and a breaking ball from Bradish. The curve misses wide, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Defensively, with Jonathan Rodriguez getting his first start in right field, Blaze Alexander appearing in center for the first time. You can't miss him. He's wearing highlighter orange shoes today in center field. And in left, Weston Wilson. Pitch lined away, foul sharply over to the third base side by Perdomo. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Take you around the Orioles diamond. Kobe Mayo is at third base. Gunnar Henderson in the middle of the diamond with Jeremiah Jackson. And Pete Alonso astride near the line deep at first. Back half of the battery. O's debut for Sam Huff. 1-2 coming. Check swing by the batter. Appeal to third. Didn't go around. It looked like a good pitch. It looked like a convicted swing by Perdomo. But on the appeal, he held up. No reaction from manager Craig Albertaz on the near end of the dugout.
He swung.
Yeah, he did.
And he swung by a lot.
Perdomo bobbing and weaving in that left-handed batter's box. Now he rocks idle. Bradish peeks back at second. The righty to the plate. Swing and a miss. Got him with a sinker. 2 strikeouts, both on sinkers for Bradish.
Well, there's a lot more oomph on it today. It's really been a command issue, but right now Bradish is letting eat, as the kids say. 97, 98 with that one.
Yeah, that was the best one of the bunch. I like the aggressiveness, the establishment early by Bradish. The double stands at second. Adrian Del Castillo at the plate. True left-handed hitter. Gets his fastball strike on the outside corner. Might be one of those days. This lineup will strike out a lot. Dean Kramer fan 9 in his season debut on Monday. 0-1 on Del Castillo. Open stance. The pitch from Bradish. Fastball up and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Somebody that's getting acclimated to being a more frequent catcher with the Diamondbacks and Del Castillo. He can hit. That bat got him to the big leagues. He's 7 for his last 18 at the plate. Pitch down in the dirt. A nice smothering stop made by Huff. We asked manager Craig Albertaz on the pregame show about his new backstop and Sam Huff. One, the pitching department loved him, the way that he was receiving, the way that he was game calling, and guys then automatically loved pitching to him. And there's a fundamental reason why. Nice block to keep the speed of Carroll at second. Bradish behind for the first time. The 2-1. Off speed, cut on and missed. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bradish has already fanned a pair, and for every strikeout by an Orioles pitcher this season, Autumn Lake Healthcare will donate to the Alzheimer Association of Maryland in support to fight to strike out Alzheimer's. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The pitch popped up foul territory, third base side. Mayo veering back. We'll watch it land in the seats. In what is a very rambunctious crowd early on, and they were here early. I mean, at the ballpark early. watching our friends at WBAL TV go through some instruction and a pseudo class about weather on the field before the ball game. Everybody got to sit right behind home plate too. In the first, no score, 2 down. The 2-2 downstairs with the slider missing. I'll bump the count to 3 balls and 2 strikes. The cleanup man Adrian Del Castillo at the plate. Bradish comes set for his 18th pitch of the first. Right-hander peers back at second, picks up the target and comes home. And a pitch is pulled towards Alonso, foul outside first base. So we'll continue to roll here in this first inning bat by the Arizona Diamondbacks under their skipper, Torey Lovullo. One of the more tenured managers in the major leagues. Against the rookie skipper and Craig Albernez, who's back. He told us feeling a little bit more sore. That nasal cavity where there's no less than 7 fractures, achy today. 3-2, popped up. Retreating from short, Henderson goes back, puts up the stop sign with his bare right hand, stopping Wilson, and he makes the play in left center field to retire Del Castillo and retire the Diamondbacks here in the first inning. Corbin Carroll's double left in scoring position, and the Birds are coming to the...
During the offseason of 1888 to 1889, Spalding took a group of big leaguers on the first worldwide barnstorming tour.
This is Spalding.
Yes,
because you look at the Spalding, you're like, wait a second, now this is the backstory. Okay, this is great.
Stops included New Zealand, Italy, France, and even Egypt, where they played in front of the pyramids. Spalding's contributions to baseball history don't end there.
Do you know the story of Doubleday and the invention of baseball?
Please
tell us.
Enlighten us.
When a 71-year-old Cooperstown native came forward, baseball officially had a birthplace in Cooperstown.
If I'm in the presence of this baseball, does it like give you powers to become a better baseball player?
I've been here 5 years and playing baseball through all of it. I don't think I've gotten better.
And whether it's the World Series or the wonders of the ancient world, there's no debating that baseball connects us all. Go to baseballhall.org to plan your visit to the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown, New York, and catch every episode of Hall of Fame Connections on MLB.tv.
Scoot up to 30 gallons, only at participating locations. Data rates may apply.
Well, Kyle Bradish has already pitched a scoreless first inning. Now the bats come to the plate. 7 out of the 9 will be right-handed for manager Craig Albernez. And it starts with Taylor Ward. One of the lefties is Gunnar Henderson. And then back on the right side with the slugger, Pete Alonso. And they face the left-hander, the 33-year-old as of last week, Eduardo Rodriguez. Rocks and fires the first pitch. Ward drives it out of play off to the right for strike 1. Baltimore 9-8 on the campaign. A tough 4-3 loss yesterday. And another close loss. 9 of the 17 games played by Baltimore have been decided by 2 runs or less. Strike 1 pitch. A little bit low. 1 ball and 1 strike on Ward. They went 1 for 5 in the setback last night. Back into the line, Rodriguez deals. And it tails inside. 2 balls, 1 strike on Ward, who's DHing. Out of the gate in a blaze of glory, 10 of his 22 hits have gone for extra bases, and all 10 of them have been doubles. 2-1. So we got a ground ball wide of third, knocked down by Arenado, recovers quickly, throws on to first in time. Well, the heart rate of a 14-year Major League veteran was on display right there. After the juggle and that ball crawling up his left arm, absolutely no panic. Just makes the throw on time and on target to get the out. 1 down for Gunnar. Henderson with 3 doubles, a triple, 6 homers. Lefty on lefty, and a first pitch fastball in the outside corner. Called strike 1. The first early slide for Gunnar Henderson happening right now. He's 0 for his last 8. Ball 1. Fastball's outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. But he's certainly cemented on the leaderboard in Major League Baseball with his 6 home runs. He's picked up some company over the last 48 hours, though. 1-1. Over the knees, a called strike. Jordan Walker leads Major League Baseball after homering now in 3 straight ball games with 8 home runs this season. The St. Louis outfielder has homered in 7 out of the last 9 games, 2 for the Cardinals. St. Louis is hosting Cleveland this afternoon. 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. Henderson hesitates. He didn't like that call. He almost tapped his cap here in the first inning, but he'll just do the about face with a lot of frustration on it with the home plate umpire and John Tumpane. That fastball was right there at the bottom bar of the zone.
Yeah, probably clipped it. It's hard to go back and argue, as Henderson did, when you have the ability to challenge it.
Here's Pete Alonso. Fastball's high.
The umpire's comeback there is, all right, you're so sure? Tap your head.
Yeah. The ability to quip back and forth. 1-0 to Pete. Down and in. 2 balls and no strikes on Alonso. He has really settled in over his last handful of games. Extra base hits are there. Walks keep coming. And the 2-0 zips right over for a called strike. 2 balls and 1 strike on Alonso. Over the last 5 games with an OPS north of 1,000 on base plus slugging. 2-1 pitch. Just off the outside corner. Borderline take. And that's the eye that we've seen over the last couple of weeks get finer and more zeroed in from Pete Alonso.
You know you're good when you look at the Alonso versus today's starting pitcher, and every day he's homered against that guy.
Yeah. 3-1 pitch. Right over for a called strike. Pete with a step out of the right-handed batter's box, but pulled back with the count moving full.
Yeah, you better be sure. But to me, it just shows his consistency and how long he's been a great power hitter in this game. A couple days ago, 4 home runs against the starter, 2 yesterday, 1 today. It's everybody.
3-2 coming, and it's lined away foul, first base side. Lifetime for Pete Alonso against Eduardo Rodriguez, 2 for 8 with that long ball. As Pete was on his march to become the franchise leader all-time in New York Mets history in home runs with 264. 2 down, nobody on, 3-2. Check swing by Alonso. They appeal to first, didn't go around. Well, as frustrating as the Orioles were on a check swing in the top of the first inning, now the Diamondbacks coaching staff reacting, thinking Alonso offered at that pitch. But he grabs another walk. That's the 12th walk this season for Pete Alonso, and it extends the first inning.
Yeah, John Tumpane, you may have heard him from behind home plate with one of the more emphatic appeals to the first base umpire ever.
Jonathan Rodriguez getting his second plate appearance with the Birds, takes high. No score here in the first. Alonso with a good lead away from first. Lefty to the plate, and a breaking ball punched out a play off to the right. A very right-handed heavy lineup, and this is another reason why Jonathan Rodriguez in the clubhouse bats right-handed, has some real good offensive skills. Greg Alvarez got to know him over the last couple of years in Cleveland. The 1-1, and he drives the ball straight away center field. Thomas racing back, still cruising to the warning track where he's got the play to haul in the deep drive from Rodriguez. Alonso's walk left to board, side retired here in the first, and we're scoreless after 1 across the Orioles Radio Network.
I believe this one's it's a rookie card, I know, but I feel like it's the first card that I ever, like, big league card. Obviously, as a kid, trying to get to the big leagues, the dream of making it, but as a kid that had cards, right, as a kid, this is like seeing your card the first time is pretty cool. So that's pretty powerful when you see that card.
All your favorite games from MLB Play are back, bigger, bolder, and better than ever. Test your skills with daily puzzles like MLB Pickle, the Ultimate Mystery Player Challenge, and Immaculate Grid, where stats and strategy collide. Then in Spinball, build your roster, take on your friends, and compete for the weekly prize. Or be the first to beat the streak and hit your way to the $5.6 million jackpot. Plus, the all-new Daily Walk-Off. Lock in your players by category for the walk-off win. The game's official home for games is MLB Play, only on the MLB app and MLB.com.
O's baseball underway on a gorgeous afternoon here in the middle part of the week in downtown Baltimore. Sun pouring out of the sky. Temperatures checking in the mid-80s, and we might even hit our first 9-digit today. A projected 90-degree temperature high here in Maryland. Feels like summer early on, and here we are only halfway through the month of April. No score after one. Jose Fernandez leads it off against Kyle Bradish. Got a couple of strikeouts in his first inning of work. He goes to work at a first pitch slider. This is downstairs, ball one.
Yeah, I saw on WBAL TV this morning, and it is WBAL TV Field Trip Day, where there's a great weather presentation before the game.
1-0, in there for a called strike.
Led today by Ava Marie, but on the morning show today, I saw that we might get to a new record high for April 15, and the previous record goes back to the 1940s.
What is that, 92, I believe?
91, 92.
Fastball fouled back. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Fernandez.
And remember, official records for our area are kept at the airport. So it doesn't necessarily mean what we get to here at Camden Yards.
Right. It might feel like 105 here in the ballpark.
Yeah, or it might get hotter at BWI.
We'll find out on the tarmac coming up.
Yeah.
Orioles travel today. 1-2. Tapped away foul at home plate. This is the only game going in the big leagues. Only action right now happening in Major League Baseball. The Diamondbacks and the Orioles sitting scoreless on our Johns Hopkins Medicine out-of-town scoreboard. Afternoon ball games coming up in the 1 o'clock Eastern hour in St. Louis, Minneapolis. The pitch. Hit sharply down to first. What a spear by Alonso. Ole, Pete Alonso. On that quick hopper to his left, he's able to spear it off the bat of Fernandez. He finds Bradish coming over to cover the bag to get the out. Hello. A quick 2 skipper. He got the in-between right in front of him, and Alonso played that ball off the left side of his body, just over the top of his white left cleat. His defense surprised you?
Yes. I mean, he has soft hands.
Me too. I'm with you. Ildemario Vargas at the plate with 1 down. The pitch. Fastball is high. Put that down as maybe 5, 6, 7 plays that have denied an Orioles opponent an extra base hit already.
Yeah, I don't really care about the metrics. I mean, first base, I'm not saying range doesn't matter. Of course it does. But it's more about hitting or catching what's hit to you.
The 1-0, bounce to the plate by Bradish, and it's 2 balls and no strikes.
And he's basically caught everything hit his way. Quick hands, soft hands, good around the bag at first. And you can tell he takes it very seriously for a guy who's known to be one of the game's great sluggers.
Yeah, it's not just one dimension for Pete Alonso. 2-0, hardline drive foul, screaming pass first.
Mind you, he stole a base in his homestand against one of the better catch-and-throw catchers in baseball.
I talked to Jason Bourgeois when we were in Chicago about different guys and how to make them successful in the running game. And his goal, ultimately, is to get Pete 10 stolen bases this year. There's a couple other guys on the list. They really feel they can do it. 2-1, check swing by the batter. They appeal to third. Chris Conroy stays pat. Didn't go around.
I don't know if Vegas has an over-under for Pete Alonso stolen bases, but if I had to guess, at the start of the year, it would probably be, 4.5, 5.5. And you're taking the over, Ben Wagner, I can tell.
Way over. 3 balls and a strike on Vargas. Here's the pitch, a bunt, third base side, it's a beauty. Charging it with a bare hand, Mayo's got it, but he has no play. In fact, Alonso is stepping away from first base with both hands in the air, telling his third baseman not even to make the throw. It's a bunt base hit for the second baseman, Vargas. He's having a great road trip for the Diamondbacks. He's now 8 for his last 29.
I think that's an acknowledgement of the Kyle Bradish stuff today, because it's hard and it's moving.
That bunt single now a 12-game hit streak to start the season for Vargas, extending the franchise record in Arizona. Runner at first, and here's Arenado. Big swing and a miss at the slider, strike one. 1-on-1 down. Arenado hit 2 home runs on Monday night. Bradish with a long hold. Now to the plate. Had a slider, broke his bat, popped up shallow right center field. Moving in Rodriguez, crisscrossing with Alexander. The Orioles make the catch with the right fielder, stepping right in front of Blaze Alexander as they crisscross in right center field. This is a byproduct of 3 outfielders never playing together and 2 brand new Orioles converging on a single play.
Blaze called it. That's very clear. Rodriguez, who's a big boy, charging in towards the infield. You said it, Wags, but beyond that, this might be the least experienced outfielder in Major League Baseball on this day.
Weston Wilson, Blaze Alexander, and Jonathan Rodriguez. Cue shot off the end of the bat to the third baseman. Mayo sucks it up, short way to second to get the force out on Vargas to retire the side. No runs, a bunt single, and a man left for the Diamondbacks here in the second inning. Inning and a half gone by.
Suarez is on. Will Benson up the steps to run for it.
As far as a breaking ball hitter, Spencer Steer may be the best that the Reds have in their lineup.
That bounces. A break for home. The shovel. He's saved. De La Cruz scores. The Reds have tied it, and Benson takes second.
Boy, Alley was looking for the downward angle of the pitch the entire time after he got to third base. There was no hesitation, and there was no chance to get him.
Bottom 2 here in Baltimore, and one of the newly minted outfielders for the Orioles, Weston Wilson, will lead it off. Jeremiah Jackson and Kobe Mayo, 5, 6, and 7 batting for manager Craig Albernaz. We're scoreless here early. Eduardo Rodriguez rocks and fires, and the pitch downstairs, ball 1. You know, we were talking about this being the only action right now for the next few moments in Major League Baseball. Orioles' next opponent, Cleveland, getting ready to square off against the Cardinals. Wilson takes a strike, and the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. Throughout the afternoon, with the other 2 games happening, we'll take a peek at the Johns Hopkins Medicine out-of-town scoreboard. 1-1 pitch. That's low. The Johns Hopkins Proton Therapy Center at Sibley Memorial Hospital in D.C. delivers cancer-defeating precision with less side effects and easier recovery. Find out more at hopkinsproton.org. Fly ball from Wilson out to right field. Carroll shuffles back shy of the track. He's there, and there's 1 down. While we have 10 seconds, we'll take it. We pause across the network for station identification on the Orioles Radio Network. No score in the second. Jeremiah Jackson at the plate. Diamondbacks have spent 3 days trying to figure how to get him out. First pitch in there is a curveball for strike one. Jackson with a couple of hits last night again. 0-1. Fastball hit well out to right field. Carroll going back, feeling for the wall, reaches out and makes the grab over his cap. Good wood the opposite way by Jeremiah Jackson, but one of the game's best defenders is in right, and Corbin Carroll. There are quickly 2 outs here in the second inning.
Last 3 outs by Baltimore have been fairly deep fly balls. So they're getting it in the air against Rodriguez, but the ballpark so far is holding it.
Yeah, Jonathan Rodriguez to cap off the first inning. A deep drive towards center where Thomas had to go back into the warning track. 2 fly balls here in the second to right. And Kobe Mayo takes outside, ball 1. Mayo getting his first action here in this series. Orioles had leaned with left-handed hitters against the 2 right-handers from the Diamondbacks. 1-0. That's low. 2 balls and no strikes. But again with the lefty and with the depletion of right-handed hitters that you would expect to be in the lineup against a Port Sider, lineup looks different today. 2-0. This is low. 3 balls and no strikes. Just in the last week, Tyler O'Neill has landed on the concussion protocol list. The Orioles lost Adley Rutschman, a switch hitter, with a left ankle issue. And Ryan Mountcastle blew out on Monday night. 3-0. Clipped the outside corner, and Mayo's going to challenge immediately. He did not like that strike call.
The previous pitch was called a strike. The batter is challenged.
He did not like the 3-0 gimme. We look at the video board, and it hit the outside corner.
The call is confirmed. Baltimore has 1 challenge remaining.
Down to 1 challenge the rest of the way. 1 cooked here in the second. Now 3 balls and 1 strike. Mayo and John Tumpane, the home plate umpire, having a little conversation outside the right-handed batter's box. And I don't think John Tumpane liked the demonstrative nature of Kobe Mayo, one challenging that pitch, but also then his reaction watching the video board. We're looking at the replay as Mayo then clubs the 3-1 up the left field line, bounding to the corner. Barroso a long way to travel to dig it out. Mayo can cruise into second with a 2-out double. Well, that's okay if you're frustrated. Take it out on the very next toss. He yanks a double into left field. His second extra base hit of the season. And the Orioles are threatening here in the second.
Yeah, feelings are going to get hurt with an ABS challenge system. There's no getting around that. These umpires are right the vast, vast majority of the time. They take a lot of pride in it.
How about that ball? That was blistered at 111 off the bat of Mayo. Sam Huff digs in. His first plate appearance with the Orioles. He takes a ball low. He also becomes the 3rd different backstop for the Birds, behind Adley Rutschman, behind Samuel Basayo. Right-hand hitter, the 1-0. Swinging a fly ball down the left field line, hooking into the corner. That's down for a base hit. Mayo running on contact. He comes around third. He will score. And in his very first Baltimore at bat, Sam Huff delivers an RBI double, and it's 1-0. Back-to-back RBI doubles for the Orioles. Mayo with the 2-bagger, and now Huff delivers the RBI hit.
We saw a lot of Huff in Sarasota, and we called a few of those exact swings. Didn't hit much towards the end of spring training. Was off to a slow start in AAA, but a great swing there.
Blaze Alexander wearing blazing orange shoes and batting gloves today. Takes inside ball 1.
Mayo, by the way, 1 for 4 now with personal challenges.
The 1-0. That's outside. 2 balls and no strikes. I think the water will find its level in some of the data that as it comes in over the first couple of months, but 25% is not going to be good. Alexander swings and fouls back the 2-0. It's 2 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, I think you have a little more leeway with certain guys. I think early in the game, the feeling is you better be right, and very late in the game when you only have 1 left, you better be right.
Huff with a big lead out at second. The 2-1 pitch just inside. Fastball missed Alexander, the number 9 batter. He's made a lot of contact, good contact as well. Tracking the exit velocity, looking at the barrels. The 3-1 pitch. Inside corner called strike. And there's no scenario where Alexander would challenge that pitch, which did appear on StatCast to be inside, even though it was called a strike. You just can't roll the dice. First base open with 2 down. The 3-2 pitch fouled back.
I hate to blanketly say this, but Wags, we've now looked at this for 3 weeks. Would you say right now the rule should be for any Oriole battery combination, any Oriole batter, you put your hands in your back pocket on any pitch until what? The 7th or 8th inning today?
Yeah, I think late leverage, right? 7th, 8th inning. If you're on the mound when you really need the out or a swing pitch, Alexander takes down and in. That's ball 4. Orioles have their 3rd consecutive batter reach. Back-to-back doubles, making it 1-0 Baltimore. And now runners at first and second for Taylor Ward. And if you're a hitter, when you need it, to see if you can swing the count in your favor, or you're just visibly frustrated with everything. There's a huddle on the hill. Umpire's going to bust it up. Diamondbacks were meeting about the scenario. Off the runner at second. Alexander behind him, away from first. Taylor Ward is second at bat. Great afternoon crowd here at Oriole Park. Seen some early 1-0 Baltimore. Rodriguez to the plate. Ward hits it in the air out to right field. There's Corbin Carroll waiting in the sunshine, makes the play to retire the side. 2-out rally by the Birds, included a Kobe Mayo contested pitch, and then he laced a double at 111 miles an hour, doubled home by 6.
Guess who that is? Roger McDowell.
Check him out. He has his uniform on upside down with the shoes on the hand, and it looks like he's walking on his hands. Has his cap hanging down. That's supposed to be his head. Well, the Mets really trying to turn it around. They do, however, trail in this ball game 4-0. I love that.
Kia, only 15 minutes from the White Marsh Mall. See them online at joneskia.com.
Host fans, 2026 Birdland memberships are available right now. It's starting for $2.99 for 16 games. Get the ultimate flexibility to swap games out. Guaranteed gate giveaways, access to $12 parking, concession and merchandise discounts, so much more. Go to Orioles.com/memberships for more information. We go to the third, 1-0 Birds. And here for the play-by-play is Brett Hollander.
Thank you, Mr. Wagner, as Kyle Bradish throws strike one to Jorge Barosa to begin the top of the third. On one to Barosa, Bradish now has a 1-0 lead, and it bodes well because this is the best command and stuff we've seen from Bradish so far this season. Only his fourth start. The season is very young, but it's good to see. Mayo very in at third base. Switch hitter batting left-handed and a cut and a miss. At a nasty curve, 0-2. Look at Bradish right now. That walk number way up so far this year. Coming into this game, he's pitched in 13 2/3 innings. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Another curveball to finish him off. Third punch out for Bradish. And right now he has everything going. You can just sense the confidence in Bradish. But 13 2/3 coming into today. 9 walks. That's 6 walks per 9. He's walked 3 batters in every start so far this year coming into today. And that's just much too high. And it's not Kyle Bradish. Just spraying it around a little bit. Swing and a miss by Ketel Marte, 0-1. That time the slider. And you can just see with these swings by Arizona, they're having a really hard time right now. I'm not sure if it's been the stuff as much as the command for Bradish in the early going. The 0-1, foul back behind on plate, 0-2. Obviously, when he is right, he is among the best starting pitchers in Major League Baseball, and we have seen that over these last few seasons when he's been healthy, which is certainly an important note in the Kyle Bradish story. The 0-2, up and away. That was a two-seamer, 96. 1-2 in his 44 starts in 23, 24, and 25. Due to injury, only 44 total starts. He has a 2.78 ERA. The 1-2, ground ball, and it's a diving stop by Jeremiah Jackson to his feet, on to first, got him. Orioles flashing some leather back of Bradish today. Nicely done by Jeremiah Jackson. It's not just the stick these days for Jeremiah. He's doing everything right.
Great diving grab in the outfield, grass popping up and getting the throw over there quickly.
That was from shallow right. Corbin Carroll bats, 2 outs, bases empty, 1-0 Orioles, top of the third. Breaking ball, and that just missed outside, 1-0. But Bradish, in parts of the last 3 seasons, when he's been healthy, he's only walking 2.5 batters per 9. Opponents hitting just 208 against him. That number is incredibly low. The 1-0, that's in the dirt, 2-0. But when you look at this year compared to the last few, when he's been healthy, and I don't want to get too deep into the weeds and go all Kevin Brown on you, Wags, but his first pitch strike percentage is just 42%. That's about 20 points lower than these last few years. That's a big number. This one yanked inside for a ball, 3-0 to Corbin Carroll. That's a significant difference. It means he's falling behind a lot more than he has in the past. And I don't think it's anything other than a command issue right now for Bradish. Really hard to be great when you're falling behind 1-0. A strike there, a 4-seamer down the middle, 3-1.
And we've asked Craig Albernaz about it. We heard Drew French talk about it with us in between Kyle Bradish starts. It's about the fastball. Everything builds on the fastball. Everything's set up with the fastball. You just got to take away the spray chart.
The 3-1, that just missed. A ball 4. Carroll, who runs really well, he will reach with 2 outs in the third. First walk allowed by Bradish. Carroll just with 1 steal so far this year, but last season he stole 32 bases. Already with 46 career triples in about 500 games. Perdomo will bat with 2 away. Bradish comes home, and it gets away from Huff for a moment. That pitch, a curveball that just missed, 1-0. 1-0 Orioles, top of the third. On a sultry day in downtown Baltimore. Blue skies above Camden Yards. Orioles trying to win this series and have a 4-2 homestand. And, of course, hit the road happy. The 1-0. A looper into shallow right. Coming on is Rodriguez. It lands gently in front of him. Motoring to third base is Corbin Carroll. And a 2-out rally for the Diamondbacks, first and third, with Adrian Del Castillo coming to the plate. A soft single to right off the bat of Perdomo. Another left-handed batter for Kyle Bradish to face. O's ahead by 1, but the D-backs are threatening. The pitch by Kyle Bradish in the air to left field. It pushes Wilson back. He's still going back. He's way out there in left field. It's off his glove, and then he bangs into the wall. 1 run will score, another run, and Perdomo coming home. It's going to be an opposite field 2-run triple for Del Castillo, and Arizona takes a 2-1 lead. Wilson got there, and then it hit off his glove, and then he banged into the wall and fell down. The mess was cleaned up by Blaze Alexander, but at that point, this play was a disaster for the Orioles. They're going to call that an error. Wow. That is one tough error. 2-1 Diamondbacks, a runner at third, and the damage in this top of the third not over as Jose Fernandez will bat. Ground ball foul. 0-1. That is one tough error. Does an accomplished, experienced left fielder probably make that play? Probably. But that was in a tough part of the ballpark by the left center cutout at the 363 sign. Wilson's never played left field here with the Orioles. A pop-up shallow right. Alonso's back, fading into foul territory. Still going, and he makes the basket catch along the warning track. A great play by Alonso, getting Bradish out of this third. But the D-backs scored twice. They have a 2-1 lead as we go to the home half of the third on the Orioles Radio Network.
2-2 the count. The pitch to Alvarez, hit in the air to deep left field. Forget it. This one sails into the second deck behind the 358 mark.
Alvarez follows up with a bomb. Oh my goodness, top tank. Santa Maria.
Did the classic swing and stare and take the slow trot up the line, a look into the dugout, flexing that bicep. That was a shot. Classic Alvarez bomb.
I remember the first series I had, the first home run I hit was a grand slam against Seattle, which was the team that I had played for the year before. As we know, Cleveland can get a little cold, so I would wear the dark blue long sleeves. And for some reason, this jersey, I always liked my jersey a little longer. The reasons for it, for a little padding, so when I would slide, I wouldn't get all patched up and roughed up.
Brent Hollander, Ben Wagner, baseball on the radio from Oriole Park at Camden Yards. A strange third. Kyle Bradish got the first 2 batters, then a walk, a bloop single, what's being called an E7. That drove in 2 runs, and now the Orioles lead. It evaporated quite quickly. It's 2-1. Arizona with Henderson leading off in the bottom of the third, and he's fooled by a curveball from Eduardo Rodriguez. 0-1 to Henderson. Henderson, Alonso, and Jonathan Rodriguez due up for the Orioles in this makeshift Wednesday afternoon lineup. Strike there. 0-2. The Orioles tried to match up against the first left-handed starter they've seen all year, which is bananas in Game 18 of the season. Ben Wagner laid it out for you. The Orioles have 13 players on the injured list, and many of those will be playing today. That's low for a ball, 1-2. Of course, Tyler O'Neill, Adley Rutschman, Ryan Mountcastle would all be in today's lineup. But the depth of this organization being tested very early this season. The 1-2. Henderson pokes it foul out of playoff to the left. It remains 1-2. The previous record as far as games played before the Orioles faced a left-handed starter for the Orioles goes back to 1975. That was game 15 of that season. Mickey Lolich and Detroit down and away for a ball. 2-2. This is game number 18 for the Orioles, so they obliterated that number. The previous number was like 10. So it's not even close. Just a very strange strange occurrence here in 2026. The 2-2. Gunnar takes a ball outside, a very close pitch. And now it's 3-2 to Henderson. And the official scores here at Camden Yards did the right thing. They have taken the error away from Wilson. They have called it a 2-run, 2 RBI triple. Job well done. The 3-2. Gunnar hits it sharply on the ground to second base. Vargas has it, plenty of time, on to first base and Fernandez. And Gunnar's retired. 1 down, bottom of the third. Here's Pete Alonso, who drew yet another walk in his last plate appearance. Alonso's been walking a ton. Now has 7 walks in his last 5+ games. A strike there to Pete. 12 walks on the season, top 10 in baseball, or I should say in the American League. The 0-1 to Alonso. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. And the walks from Alonso are brought to you by the Good Feet Store. Get out of pain and back into doing what you love at the Good Feet Store. Go to goodfeet.com to find a store near you and book your appointment today. The 1-1. Low to Pete Alonso, 2-1. Eduardo Rodriguez enjoying a bit of a renaissance this year. It has not gone well in the desert. In fact, it's been a while since Rodriguez had a good season. Last 2 years, 39 starts for Arizona, an ERA north of 5. The 2-1. Alonso takes a ball down and in, 3-1. Now in parts of 11 seasons in the big leagues, closing in on 100 career wins. At kind of a nightmarish time in the Motor City when he signed there for the 22 season. This is his 3rd campaign with the Diamondbacks. Alonso fouls one off the catcher, and then it caroms back to the backstop. 3-2 to Pete Alonso. 2-1. Dbacks with the lead. Bottom of the third. His last great seasons came in 18, 19, and 21. He did not pitch in the COVID year of 20. He won a nice run with the Red Sox, a big part of their World Championship club in 2018. That beat the Dodgers in the World Series. The 3-2. Alonso takes low. Ball 4. Another walk for the Polar Bear. 2 plate appearances, 2 walks, and he is a 1-out base runner in front of Jonathan Rodriguez. Of course, the Orioles signed Eduardo Rodriguez in 2010. Eventually traded him to the Red Sox in a bittersweet trade at the deadline in 2014. But a trade, Ben Wagner, you make every single time if your team's contending. Rodriguez smacks it foul out of play off to the right, 0-1. Everything's 20/20 hindsight. The Orioles knew exactly what they had with Eduardo Rodriguez. He was probably the most highly touted international pitcher they'd had in ages. A very good prospect. The 0-1. Down and in for a ball, 1-1. But that Orioles team blew away the field in the American League East. Won 96 games, and they wanted to add another elite reliever to an already stacked bullpen. And they added Andrew Miller at that deadline. The 1-1. There's a strike on the inner half. And Rodriguez wants to challenge. If he's wrong, the Orioles would be out of challenges in the bottom of the third. Hold on. And is a ball. Whew.
Call's overturned. Baltimore has 1 challenge remaining.
One of those, you better be right. There goes my idea. Hold on to it until the 7th or 8th. Ooh. Didn't Craig Albarnez's heart skip a beat there?
Yeah.
Now 2-1 to the batter. Baltimore down a run. Alonso leads from first. The pitch. Rodriguez hits this high in the air, down the right field line. Long run for Carroll. He's in the corner. He slams into the wall, and it's called a foul ball. Just foul down the right field line by the garage door. Second time we've seen a play like that in this series that involves Carroll going right by the same garage door down the line. This one definitely foul. I'm not sure if Carroll made contact with it like what happened a few days ago on a call that was eventually reviewed. 2-2 to Rodriguez. The pitch. Down and in for a ball. 3-2 to Rodriguez. But Andrew Miller, at that time, one of the best and most dominant relievers in baseball. You're on your way to the postseason. You put him in a bullpen with Darren O'Day and Zach Britton. You take your chances in every single game. The 3-2. Low, ball 4. Rodriguez gets a base on balls. First and second with only one down. And by the way, Andrew Miller, when he got to the Orioles, he was as advertised. He wasn't a walk year, as the pitching coach, Brian Kaplan, will slowly walk to the mound at Camden Yards to have a conversation with his veteran left-hander, Eduardo Rodriguez, now 33 years of age. But Miller was dominant. I mean, basically unhittable. Unfortunately, the Orioles lost a couple of close games, 4 to be exact, and were swept away by the Royals in the 2014 ALCS. Opportunity here, bottom of the third, 2-1. Arizona with the lead. Alonso at second, Rodriguez at first, and Weston Wilson, who's 0 for 1, will come to the plate with a chance to drive in his first Orioles run. Weston Wilson, we saw a lot of him in the springtime. He was a non-roster invitee to spring camp for the Orioles. 31-year-old veteran who has spent parts of the last 3 seasons with the contending Phillies. Wilson rolls his foul on 1. He was on those last 3 teams that won a lot of games in Philadelphia. Plays everywhere, but shortstop and catcher, including some time on the mound in the big leagues. 9 minor league seasons. He does have some pop. On 1 to Weston Wilson, left on right, outside for a ball, 1-1. Last year with the Phillies, 52 games, hit just 198. He did tell me there are some advanced metrics to say that he was a little unlucky last season, but he was a part-time player, and then it's very hard to hit in that role. The 1-1. That's a strike to Weston Wilson, 1-2. He had 30 spring at-bats with the Orioles, 4 extra base hits, including a home run. Originally a 17th round pick in 2016 by the Brewers out of Clemson. 1-2 to Wilson. The pitch. Called strike 3. An emphatic strike 3 call by John Tumpain. Wilson caught looking. That might be one where Wilson would want to challenge, and he would have won had he challenged, but with only 1 challenge remaining, he just couldn't pull the trigger, and he probably did the right thing in that sense. But now 2 away, and the red-hot Jeremiah Jackson will bat. Jackson coming in 10 for his last 20 with a lot of extra base hits, including 3 homers. He takes a strike here on 1. That Eduardo Rodriguez pitch count now up to 63 on a hot day in Baltimore. The 0-1. Jam shot, foul ball off to the right, now to play, 0-2. Alonso at second, Rodriguez at first. And Jeremiah Jackson is down the count, 0-2. On deck, Kobe Mayo, who's already doubled today. The 0-2 pitch to Jeremiah Jackson. Fouled right back on home plate. Pretty good rip at it for Jeremiah. It remains 0-2. Diamondbacks have a 1-run, 2-1 lead here in the last of the third. The 0-2 again. Swing and a foul tip in and out of the glove of the catcher, Del Castillo, and Jeremiah Jackson has life. Nothing in 2. Here's the pitch. A looper into left field. That's a base hit. Alonso's being waved in from third. The throw comes in from left field, and Alonso will score standing. And this game is tied, and Jeremiah Jackson does it again. Oh, is he hot or what?
Doesn't matter how he hits it either. I mean, he has absolutely crushed some balls during this homestand. That was not of the big-time exit velocity. at all. Just came off the bat at 92 miles an hour. But he placed it perfectly, dropped it right over the shortstop position.
Good send again by Buck Britton. Alonso moving with 2 outs. Still first and second. This game tied at 2. Mayo the batter. And Kobe looks at a ball low, 1-0. This is already the worst start of Eduardo Rodriguez's senior season. This is only his 4th start, but he had gone coming in 18 innings, only 1 earned run. He's been dominant. The 1-0. Mayo takes a strike. 1-1. Mayo sizzled a double into left field his last time up and eventually scored. Sam Huff, the catcher, is on deck. Rodriguez at second, Jeremiah Jackson at first. The pitch. In the air, left field, it freezes Barraza. He's trying to find the baseball. He does, and he makes the catch. He was battling the sun on that one, but he puts it away for out number 3. The Orioles tie this game up. An RBI base hit from Jeremiah Jackson. It's a 2-2 game after 3.
Line drive down the right field line. It's going to drop and score 2. Keith is home. Green right behind him. Torque over to third. Throw to second. Not in time. Kevin McGonigal, first major league at bat, is a 2-run double, and the Tigers take a 3-0 lead in the first.
Welcome to the big leagues, Kevin McGonigal.
6th pitch of the at bat. Down the right field line in the corner. Off the top of the wall. Another extra base hit for McGonigal. Throw to second. Not in time. First 2 major league at bats. 2 doubles for Kevin McGonigal. How about Kevin McGonigal?
Boy, showing how quick he is on those inside pitches.
He's already at 60 in the 3rd. Works the count even. Cues it off the end of the bat. That's going to be a tough play for Bogarts, and not in time.
I don't know if it's surprised is the right word, because McGonigal runs well, but he gets down that line really quick.
Courage, determination, excellence. These are not just Jackie's values. They were a part of America's promise. In every child who dares to dream, in every voice that lifts and inspires others, Jackie lives on. Today we all carry him. In every place where someone dares to belong, Jackie is not just baseball history, he is America's history. We are Jackie Robinson, and we all belong in this game.
No planning, no logistics, no stress. You just show up to the Truist Club, the newest private, all-inclusive experience providing a year-round platform to host clients, reward teams, and stand out in a very crowded market. Offering prime home plate views, it's one of the best atmospheres in Major League Baseball, and it's right here at Camden Yards. Find out more at Orioles.com/Truist Club.
That's Ben Umbrett. First pitch of the top of the 4th. A breaking ball stays high to Vargas, 1-0. 2-2 game, bottom 4. Vargas, Arenado, and Thomas due up for Arizona. Bradish gave up a couple in the 3rd. That gave Arizona the lead, but Baltimore came back and tied it in the bottom half of the inning. Ball 2 to Vargas, 2-0. Would love to see Bradish get a shutdown inning here. He was rolling until a 2-out rally when he walked someone for Arizona. Strike there. Four-seamer over, 2-1. Time is called by the batter Vargas. Switch hitter batting left-handed. Hit that big 3-run homer in the 5th off Trevor Rogers yesterday to totally turn that game around. The 2-1. Breaking ball, it's in there for a strike 2. 2-2. Of course, today everyone's wearing the number 42 around Major League Baseball. April 15, 2026. To honor what happened April 15, 1947. The 2-2, a big chopper over the mound. Henderson waits for it, behind the bag at second. Now fires to first in time to get Vargas one away. Fourth inning is brought to you by Toyota. Shop Toyota for legendary style and reliability, starting with the all-new RAV4. Shop Toyota.com for details and deals on your favorite Toyota. Let's go places. 1 out, Arenado a bat. 2-2 game, top of the 4th. April 15, 1947, Brooklyn, New York at Ebbets Field. A strike one to Arenado with the slider 0-1. It was the Brooklyn Dodgers against the Boston Braves on that day. The Dodgers beat Johnny Sane of Boston, the 0-1. A slow roller hit to Henderson. He waits for it, takes a few steps towards first, now fires there, and 2 ground ball outs to Henderson, and 2 quick outs for Bradish. Alec Thomas will bat. Jackie Robinson that day 0 for 3. He played first base. Dodgers won the game. They would go on to win 94 games in the pennant in the National League that year. Jackie Robinson on that day, April 15, 1947, changed baseball and changed the country. Breaking ball in there for a strike to Alec Thomas, 0-1. And, of course, people know about the impact of Jackie. That is very real. But don't forget about the Hall of Fame ball player. He'd go on to win Rookie of the Year in 47, eventually an MVP award. That's low for a ball. 1-1. And the Dodgers, well, they just became perennially the best team in the National League. In his 10 years in Brooklyn, they won 6 pennants. The 1-1. Poked into left field off the bat of Thomas. That's down for a base hit. It goes right past Wilson, and it goes to the wall. Thomas will cruise into second base with a 2-out double. I'm not sure if anyone could cut that ball off down the left field line, but it went right past Weston Wilson to the corner and left. 2-2 game, top of the 4th. Jorge Barosa will come to the plate against Bradish. Mayo in at third. There's a strike. A curveball over, 0-1. Of course, there are many African-American players that followed Jackie with the Dodgers and everywhere else around baseball who endured many of the same challenges. That's a ball outside, 1-1. Larry Doby broke the color barrier in the American League shortly thereafter for Cleveland, where we're going. He was a great baseball player. One and one in the pitch. There's a strike 2. Over with a 96-mile-per-hour sinker that just clipped the outside corner, 1-2. And then I think it sums it up what's on the tombstone of Jackie Robinson in the borough of Brooklyn, where it says, "A life is not important except for the impact it has on other lives." Pretty powerful. 1-2 to Barosa. Bradish set to the belt. Runner at second base, 2 down. The pitch in the dirt, blocked by Huff. Good stop. And it's 2-2. I don't know if you've ever seen the documentary. It's an HBO documentary from a few years ago called The Ghost of Flatbush. It lives, I know, on YouTube. I'm not sure if it's on HBO Max in the app. It is one of the greatest sports documentaries ever made, but it tells the story of Jackie and the Dodgers so well. Line drive down the right field line. That's a fair ball into the right field corner. Thomas will score, and Barosa, the number 9 batter, who was a pest last night, gets an RBI double here in the top of the 4th, and the Diamondbacks get a 3-2 lead. Back-to-back 2-out doubles, and now Drew French to the mound with the Orioles down a run. 2 2-out rallies in back-to-back innings for the Diamondbacks.
Alec Thomas expanded the zoning. He sliced the ball away from Weston Wilson in left field, tucked it right next to the wall. That started this rally, and then Barosa hooks one right off the chalk up the right field line. I mean, it kicked up some white blades of grass when it hit the line and got deep into the corner. Easily scoring Alec Thomas.
Conference on the mound over, but now they have to deal with Ketel Marte. Diamondbacks 3, Orioles 2. top of the fourth inning at Camden Yards. Barrosa is at second base. All three Diamondback runs have come with 2 outs. Bradish right on left in the pitch. A strike call and a challenge immediately requested by Marte.
Pitcher's called a strike. Batter's count.
And Marte's wrong. Bradish gets a strike.
The call is confirmed. Arizona has 1 challenge remaining.
So both teams down to a single challenge in the top of the fourth. The 0-1. Low. A slider that missed. 1 ball and 1 strike. Yeah, the Dodgers, by the way, in that run, 6 pennants, but only 1 World Championship. Bested by the Yankees in so many fall classics in those days. The 1-1. That's low for a ball. 2-1. Of course, the Dodgers also lost that 3-game end-of-year series for the pennant to the New York Giants. The famous Ralph Branca to Bobby Thompson home run, the shot heard around the world in the Russ Hodges call. The Giants win the pennant. The Giants win the pennant. The 2-1, outside ball 3, 3-1. But it's well documented, the Dodgers in those days and the run they went on and how they knocked on the door every year, eventually were able to win 1 World Series there. It's kind of like a Camelot for baseball fandom. And never really forgotten, the boys of summer. The 3-1, swing and a mighty cut by Marte. Foul back to the bricks, 3-2. But I highly recommend that documentary, Ghost of Flatbush. Of course, in 57, the Dodgers left. They went 3,000 miles away to Los Angeles, California. And the Boston Braves, well, it took them a long time to find their permanent home. Milwaukee and eventually Atlanta. 3-2 to Marte with a runner at second base. 3-2 Arizona in the top of the fourth. Bradish and that pitch count now up to 69. The pitch. Fought off and fouled away. Pesky at bat by Ketel Marte.
These Diamondback hitters have had really good approaches to every Orioles starter. They disrupted the rhythm of Trevor Rogers last night, forced him to have his most difficult start of the season.
The 3-2. Swing and a miss. Bradish finally finishes off Marte to get out of the fourth, but the Diamondbacks retake the lead. It's a 3-2 Arizona lead as we go to the home half of the fourth on the Orioles Radio Network.
Gambling can be a fun and
well, if you look at the infield, they just came out and put, Diamond Dry everywhere except where McKinstry needed it right here, and he loses his footing.
Wonder when he realized he broke his chain.
With an all-star bonus, he can get a new one.
I don't know what is causing this, but we have seen more bats leave players' hands at the plate this year than I'll ever remember.
Line shot. Got a chance. Yeah, that looks like it would have been a home run, fellas.
Has been the impact player today offensively for the Braves, and now he hits one high in the air to left center field. Clark surveying. He leaps. He got it. Denzel Clark, his first home run robbery of the year, comes in Atlanta. That's why he's out there. A Superman catch from Clark.
And he tracks it the entire way. Times his leap like he's been playing center field here at Truist Park for 10 years.
HBCU night is coming to Baltimore. Join the Orioles on Friday, April the 24th, taking on the Red Sox for HBCU and Divine Nine night. Grab a special ticket package, get a bucket hat, and don't miss the Battle of the Bands. Groups of 15 or more can save. Get your tickets, Orioles.com/ticket packages.
All right, Ben, thank you. Sam Huff leading off for Baltimore in the bottom of the fourth. 3-2 Arizona, and a ball one up and away to Huff. Eduardo Rodriguez, who has labored a little bit in this game, dealing with Huff here. There's a strike, 1-1. Rodriguez is at 72 pitches. Huff, who is starting his first game for the Orioles in the regular season, the 1-1. He hits it high in the air, left center field. It has some carry to it, but Thomas has it in range. The center fielder still backpedaling, shy of the warning track, makes the catch out number one. Huff making his first start, just activated today. The Orioles DFA'd Nick Riquet, the lefty who made 2 appearances out of the Baltimore bullpen. Orioles right now carrying 3 catchers, Basayo, Maverick Hanley, and Sam Huff. Huff, who has big league experience and has played sporadically these last few years with the Giants. Blaze Alexander takes a strike, 0-1. Blaze walked in his first plate appearance, in a little bit of a rut right now. 0 for his last 13. Low for a ball, 1-1. Taylor Ward is on deck. 3-2 Diamondbacks, bottom of the fourth. The pitch. Line drive into center field. That will get down for a base hit. In front of the center fielder, Thomas. There's a hit for Blaze, and he's a one-out base runner.
Orioles really think that his numbers will even up. His expected batting average is way higher than what the actual batting average is, and that's why you have a lot of belief that he's going to have a much more well-rounded season. He's celebrating with some open space at first base now, gesturing back to the dugout.
Ward drives this in the air to right field. It pushes Carroll back. He's still going back. He'll reach up in front of the wall and make the catch. Driven the other way by Taylor Ward, but it's a long fly ball out, 2 down, as Blaze retreats back to first. Well, 2 away here. Alexander does have 2 steals. He runs well, never really been a base stealer. Orioles very aggressive on the bases recently. You do have a lefty on the mound, and you have Henderson batting, but Henderson leading off in the 5th wouldn't be the worst thing. A curveball outside to Gunnar, 1-0. Henderson 0 for 2 today with those 6 home runs. This is left on left. Diamondbacks up a run. The pitch. Gunnar hits his foul. Back of home plate. Pretty good swing there by Gunnar, and it's 1-1. Eduardo Rodriguez has been around a long time. Debuted for Boston back in 2015. Velocity not what it was. It's a toss over to first base, and it gets away from the first baseman Fernandez. But Blaze has nowhere to go. That was a snap throw to first, and it was not an accurate one. But the ball only went beyond the first baseman by a few feet. 1-1 to Henderson. There goes Blaze. The pitch of the ball, throw to second base, and Blaze Alexander is safe. He stole the bag. D-backs want to make sure. Torey Lovello holding his hand up. And we will play on. Third stolen base for Blaze Alexander, and he's in scoring position for Henderson. And now Gunnar's ahead in the count, 2-1. I like that aggressiveness with 2 outs. Now a base hit ties this thing up again. The pitch. Gunnar takes ball 3, 3-1 with Alonso on deck. That stolen base is today's Fast Play of the Game, brought to you by the Maryland Lottery. Play Fast Play Home Run Riches from the Maryland Lottery all season long. 3-1 to Gunnar. Alexander leads from second base. The pitch. Gunnar takes a strike. A changeup over, and it's 3-2. A changeup that was a little elevated. 3-2 to Henderson. And the pitch. Gunnar loops this to the gap in left center field. Thomas on the run. He'll get there and he'll make the catch. Not at all that sharply, but a place where you usually find some grass. But Henderson lines out, and that's that. The Orioles leave one in scoring position.
Pop quiz. How do you go from Captain Clutch to the Iron Horse through a milestone and a marathon? The answer is on Hall of Fame Connections.
The captain, Derek Sanderson Jeter, is one of the winningest players in Major League history. He was wearing these very batting gloves when he notched one of those most memorable hits, the 3,000th of his career.
Are we supposed to spit in them like they do the batting gloves?
No spitting. This is a non-spitting museum.
He's just the second player in history whose 3,000th hit was a home run. The first was a former teammate from the Yankees' 1996 World Series championship team. But before he began his Cooperstown-bound career, Boggs would cross paths with another future Hall of Famer. September 6, 1995, the Iron Man played his 2,000th 131st consecutive game, surpassing the unbreakable record of the Iron Horse.
Now that's how you pass the torch.
Catch every episode of Hall of Fame Connections on MLB.tv and discover your own connections to the game at baseballhall.org.
One quick note, Nick Riquet, who pitched last night, has pitched twice for Baltimore. He was optioned down to the minor leagues, not DFA'd, so still with the organization. But the Orioles here, down a run, 3-2, and back in for the play-by-play. Here's Ben Wagner.
All right, thanks a lot, Brett Hollander. Kyle Bradish, the strong right-hander, peers in, gets the left-handed hitting. Corbin Carroll up near the top of the Diamondbacks order. The pitch up and in, right under his chin for ball one. The third baseman recognizing the speed and the handedness of Corbin Carroll. Colby Mayo is creeping in. Rest of the diamond relaxed. Outfield lined up straight away. Birds down a run. The pitch. Breaking ball flicked out a play over the Diamondbacks dugout. And it's 1-1 strike on Corbin Carroll, who's been one of the game's best. We talked about that. He once again, even after hamate bone surgery, has had a tremendous start to this season. And he's right in line with some great seasons that he's already had. The 1-1 pitch, watch out, spins away from the inside corner. And it's 2-1 strike. Corbin Carroll became the only player in Major League history to have 80 or more home runs, swipe 120 or more bases, and have 40 or more triples. And here's a little tapper. A hop in the air made by Bradish. He's got it on top of the bump and a throw to first base to get the speedy Corbin Carroll. Now, those numbers, the homers, the stolen bases, the triples, which is just an absurd number, 40 or more, all within his first 500 games. Really good player. He's retired here to leading off the fifth. The Diamondbacks with a 3-2 lead. Geraldo Perdomo comes in. 1 for 2 today. Gets a first pitch strike from Bradish. He had 3 hits yesterday and starting to look like his old self. He had a great year last year. Mayo in on the grass at third base and now time called by the batter. Last season, 58 extra base hits for Perdomo, and he can slug. He had 30 home runs, drove in 100. And if you like the OPS plus metric, where you can grade OPS against everybody else being league average at 100, he was at 135. 0-1, missed outside. 1 strike. So that means he's 35% more than the average major leaguer. Really good season. At a premier defensive position as well. Playing right in the middle of the diamond at short. 1 strike on Perdomo. Left-hand batter. The pitch by Bradish. Swing and a miss over the slider. And it's 1-2. Nobody on, one out. Bradish from the first base into the slab. Brings home the 1-2 pitch, and it's bounced out to second base. Shuffle step to his right. Jackson handles it waist high. High throw to first base handled by Alonso. And there are quickly 2 down here in the 5th inning. Being brought to you by Navy Football. Purchase your season, group, and single game tickets today at NavySports.com. Diamondbacks 3, Orioles 2. Adrian Del Castillo at the plate. The pitch to him. Down and in. Glances off the glove of Sam Huff behind the dish all the way to the backstop. And new baseballs. 6 brand new pearls brought out to home plate umpire John Tumpane. That's a lot of baseballs for one trip for an umpire. 1-0 the count. A little bit of a breeze blowing out to left center. Check swing dribbler. Left side of the diamond from the buck. Bradish fields cleanly. Fires to first in time to get the out. On the ground, a 1-2-3, top of the 5th, turned in by Kyle Bradish. Diamondbacks with a 3-2 lead, with Baltimore coming to the plate on the Orioles Radio Network.
The MLB app. Yeah, it's got game. This game. These games. All the games. Pre-game, post-game, and everything in between. This is baseball your way. With real-time stats, scores, breaking news, and custom content that hits every time. Because you choose the teams and pick the players you want to follow. So when they catch it on the field, you catch it on the app.
There goes Mosby. Picked a good pitch to go on. Terrible throw. Mosby doesn't know where the throw is. He's going back to first base. Is he going to steal first? He steals
Look
first.
at him.
Now he's going to steal second again. I've never seen it before.
Where's Evan Costello when you need him?
Matthews getting the start in left field tonight.
That ball hit well to left center field. Forget about it. Bryce Matthews by the home run pump. He hits his 5th Major League home run. That was a no-doubter. Well over 400 feet.
434 over the gas pump in left field and into home run alley for Bryce.
That was pummeled.
He may be number 0 on the back of his jersey, but he's number 1 in your heart. Wow.
Before we get into the home 5th inning here in Baltimore, let's take 10 seconds for station identification on the Orioles Radio Network. Orioles down a run, and that can change with one swing from Pete Alonso. He leads off the home 5th inning, and the first pitch by Eduardo Rodriguez rolls in for a called strike 1. Orioles, in recent memory, have yet to figure out this left-hander. Rodriguez 11-0 against the Birds since the start of 18. A 1 pitch. Alonso takes low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Pete's been on base twice today. He now has 13 walks on the season. 1-1. Swinging a high fly ball straightaway center field. It'll hang up for Thomas, who bolted back. Now races forward. Sun gleaming off the glasses with every stride. Handles the play easily in straightaway center, and there's 1 down. Here comes Jonathan Rodriguez. Right-handed batter against the lefty. There's the pitch. Wrinkle on the outside corner for strike 1. Jonathan Rodriguez getting his first start. Hopefully no pressure. He's the cleanup man, fueled by Club Citgo. Cleanup on savings on every fill-up with Club Citgo. Download the app now and start saving. Sharp liner into the screen above the Orioles dugout. No balls and 2 strikes on Rodriguez. 2 years in Cleveland, had 102 at-bats. He's 26 years of age. 0 for 1 with a walk today. Right back pocket untucked. The 0-2, fastball's high.
He is a hulking guy.
When we talk about big dudes, he's a big dude. Sturdy.
And Craig Albert has said, and they know each other, he will give you a good at-bat.
Almost hit a home run his first time up. 1-0. Driven sharply down the right field line towards the seats. Scatter some kids. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Rodriguez, who flied to deep center his first time up and then took the walk. One-two coming. A fastball, strike 3 called, and Rodriguez knew it too. He's down looking. There haven't been a bundle of strikeouts for Eduardo Rodriguez today, but all 3 strikeouts today for the left-hander have been looking. He's got 2 away here in the 5th. Diamondbacks with a 3-2 lead. Here comes Weston Wilson. Tried to go in that deep retreat in left field earlier. Pitch to the right-hand batter is outside, ball 1. What was originally ruled in error was changed to a 2-run triple, and I think that's right. I felt like it was poor scoring originally. Wilson swings and drives it foul, skipping past Buck Britton, the third base coach. 1 ball and 1 strike. But if you look at how Weston Wilson has played in the outfield before, and this is his first assignment at Oriole Park, he was with the Philadelphia Phillies, and they've adjusted their wall in left field too in Philadelphia, but he had to feel like he was running a country mile going back here at Oriole Park, just to the left of that 363 marker. 1-1. Swinging a line drive, base hit into left field. Wilson's got his first knock as a Baltimore Oriole.
Yeah, I think we both looked at each other and saw and heard it was an error, and we both had the same reaction. If any left fielder made that play, we would have said it was exceptional. And for someone who is really an infielder by trade to be out there and playing this ballpark for the first time at the hardest part to play left field in a key moment, that's a lot to ask.
Especially that angle at 363 next to the bird bath. First pitch, Jeremiah Jackson, a vicious hat. Comes up empty, strike 1. And Jeremiah Jackson flied to right and then drove home a run with a base hit. Now 9 for 18 on the homestand. The pitch, swinging a line drive, hit deep, out to left field, back at the wall, and it's gone! Just over the top of the wall in left field, a screaming line drive, 2-run homer to push the Birds on top. Holy smokes! That had some backspin on it for JJ. He's driven in 3 of the 4 this afternoon for Baltimore, and they're up a run here in the 5th. This guy is a one-man inferno right now. Anything he hits, it does a little Orioles magic. Kobe Mayo steps in. Breaking ball for strike 1.
Wags, he now leads the team with 14 runs batted in. Jeremiah Jackson, who I thought, if everyone stayed healthy, would have probably been on the outside looking in on the opening day roster.
Pump back liner played on a soft bounce by Vargas out at second base, and Kobe Mayo is retired, and so is the side here in the 5th inning. But the Orioles have gone long again. Jeremiah Jackson's 4th of the season on a 3 RBI day pushes Baltimore on top 4-3 after 5 across the Orioles radio network.
Baseball is a game of skill, but it's
another breaking ball, skied to left. And this ball is going to, it hit a bird.
You believe that?
I've never seen that.
Well, I've heard of birdies in golf. That's the first birdie I've seen in baseball.
Santana's probably thinking a bird in hand. That's the first ew of the 1987 season.
2-0 count on Judge. Had a home run in the 9th inning yesterday in St. Pete. 2-run shot. And he has a home run here tonight. See ya! A long one into the left center field bleachers. And the Yankees lead 2-0.
My goodness, Mike. What did you see where that ball went?
456 feet. And it was 116 off the bat. And he just tied his teammate, Paul Goldschmidt. They both have 373 career home runs.
Right deep to left. That's going to answer nicely for Aaron Judge. Home run for the captain, and back and forth we go. It's 8-7 Yankees.
Going to second deck there, Michael?
I think it might have hit the facing of the second deck.
That's got to feel good. His second homer tonight. It's 6 on the season. Third RBI tonight, 12 for the season.
And it's his 47th career multi-homer game. Kind of fitting, isn't it? Aaron Judge answering Mike Trout.
Colton, good to hear you because you're into this ball game. Now taking over for Weston Wilson out in left field after the Orioles get a 2-run home run by Jeremiah Jackson, have a 4-3 lead over the visiting Diamondbacks here in this rubber match matinee as we go to the 6th and give things over to Brett Hollander.
Thank you, Ben Wagner. Jose Fernandez takes a strike from Kyle Bradish. Defensive change for the Orioles. Colton Cowser now in left field, replacing Weston Wilson. And Jeremiah Jackson, the hottest hitter on planet Earth, is at second base still, of course, who's also playing this outrageously good second base these days. He's doing everything right. Right now, all eyes on Bradish, trying to win his second game of the year. A slider bends down and away, and it's 1-1 to Fernandez. Kyle's at 83 pitches. Going to work here in the top of the 6th. Last outing, a season high in pitches. Ground ball up the middle. That's a base hit. Base hit for Fernandez. And the Diamondbacks have a leadoff base runner on. And it's been that kind of game for both teams where someone grabs a 1-run lead and the other team comes back and ties the game or grabs the lead. Vargas will bat. Mayo will come way in at third base right now. Alonso is going to hold Fernandez on at first base. Mayo right now almost on top of the batter. Vargas, who has power, will not square around, and he'll take a ball outside 1-0. The Orioles with that Jackson homer now of 17 this season. The home run count is brought to you by Ground Loop Geothermal. This season, not all the magic is on the field, but under. Let the ground you walk on heat and cool your home. 1-0 to Vargas. Not bunting, and this one's outside, ball 2. And there's some stirring in the Baltimore bullpen. The move with Cowser here over Wilson, the day is likely over for Eduardo Rodriguez, so the left-hand starter will be out of this game. And now with a 1-run lead even, you're going to go defense here. But Bradish has fallen behind after a leadoff single. Toss over to first. Back to the bag. 86 pitches for Bradish. 2-0 to Vargas. Here's the pitch. Big chopper to the right side. Jackson will charge in. He plays a short hop. He has one play. That's the first base. He gets an out. Fernandez advances to second. Really nice defensive play there by Jeremiah Jackson. That is not an easy play, charging in on a big chopper, and he got the short hop, but by then the ball was hit so hard into the ground, Fernandez was able to advance. So effectively a bunt.
Moved the runner, but JJ made the harder play, even with that guy clearly going to reach second base. He could have laid back, had a more routine play, but man, oh man, that was a nifty play again by Jeremiah Jackson.
Big spot for Nolan Arenado, 4-3 Baltimore, top of the 6th. The pitch by Bradish. In there for a strike. A slider that's over, and it's on 1. And right now warming up in the Baltimore bullpen, the only left-hander of the pen, Grant Wolfram. Orioles, because of the option to Riquet, only have one lefty in the pen. The 0-1. Arenado a looper into center field. Blaze Alexander coming on. He has to play it on one bounce. The stop sign is on for Fernandez at third as that throw comes in home to Huff. And it's a very soft single for Arenado, first and third with one out.
A little bit of a slow developing play for the Orioles defensively, and a late decision coming from third base after the read by Fernandez to make sure one that found open turf. Alexander took a couple of strides because the throw is so different from an outfield position versus what Alexander usually makes on the infield.
First and third now. Orioles clinging to a one-run lead in the top of the sixth. Mayo in at third. Alonso holding the runner on at first. Ground ball, foul, first base side 0-1.
Chatting with Jason Bourgeois, I asked about the reps that he has with some of the versatility of his players, and primarily Blaze Alexander. He said ground balls have to happen first. It doesn't matter where you're out on the field. Your instincts, your reactions, they have to happen first as an infielder. So when Blaze can get to the outfield, that's when we then work on the throws.
The 0-1, a slow roller towards first base. Alonso fields it. He has one play as he tags the runner, but a run will score. Thomas is out, but now it's a 4-4 game. Nothing hit hard, but the Diamondbacks scratch out a run.
Man, this is death by 1,000 cuts here in the sixth inning. Soft base hit by Fernandez. A weak ground ball advances a runner. Arenado then just blades one softly into center field, and this wouldn't have broken the speed limit on the tapper to first base to get the run in.
Near the end of the line for Bradish. They got to get Barrosa here. Runner at second, 2 down. Breaking ball outside, 1-0. He's been a pest. Number 9 batter. On base 3 times yesterday. Today he has an RBI double. Arenado on at second base. 2 down. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Good slider there by Bradish, 1-1. So a 4-4 game. We're starting over again. Diamondbacks out hitting the Orioles, 8-6. Going back to the Blaze play, I think that's one where if Alexander's out there every day, he might get aggressive and take a shot at it, but you can't be wrong there. So he played it conservatively, and that's not necessarily the wrong thing to do. 1-1 to the batter. The pitch. Off the plate outside. 2-1 on deck. The switch hitter Marte. So this could be it for Bradish. You probably get Bradish today. Without question in my mind, his stuff in command is better. A little snake bit today. Probably some pitches he wants back. The walks way down. And I think the command is just much better. Trying to work his way out of the 6 right now. The 2-2. Little tapper foul. Barrosa stays alive. And right now, if you look at the hardest exit velocities of this game, none of them are Diamondbacks. Hernandez tagged 1. But it's a lot of well-placed balls off the bat of Dbacks hitters to their credit, putting in play. The 2-2 popped up. Shallow left. The left fielder, Cowser, calling for it. A few steps to his left, he makes the catch. Side retired, but the Diamondbacks scratch out a run. They tie this game again. 4-4 I'll score as we go to the last of the 6 on the Orioles Radio Network.
Well, this is a World Series card. Everybody said, you know, what's it going to be to pitch against Sandy Koufax, who's a dominant pitcher? I said, I hope I don't embarrass myself. And I didn't. You know, pitched my first shutout ever. We won 6-0, and my parents were there. My mom was afraid of heights, so she was in the upper deck. She had to come down and trade seats with somebody so that she could actually watch her 20-year-old son pitch a shutout in the World Series.
Go-ahead run. Ramirez at second base. First base is open. And now Williams intentionally walked Cabrera. Line drive to center field. A base hit for Cabrera, who swung at that pitch. Williams didn't get it far enough outside, and Cabrera alertly swung at it.
Well, Little League right here. It happens in Little League when you don't get the ball out.
Now the Marlins have the lead in the 10th.
The day is over for Eduardo Rodriguez. He cannot win this game as he exits with the score tied at 4. He goes 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts. He allowed the homer to Jeremiah Jackson. Eduardo Rodriguez, 98 pitches, 59 strikes. He had been so dominant as Kevin Ginkel enters this game. A right-hander going to work here against the Orioles catcher today, Sam Huff. Ginkel's 8th game of the year, ERA of 6.35. First pitch fouled right back behind home plate, 0-1. Huff, Alexander, and then the top of the order. Wave and a miss and a feeble swing at a slider. It is 0-1, or I should say 0-2. Eduardo Rodriguez only induced 2 swings and misses all game. Bradish has 11. And Bradish really had good stuff today. The 0-2, down and away. Huff lays off another slider. 1-2. The 6th inning is brought to you by PNC. Patience is a winning strategy in baseball and banking. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. 1-2 to Huff. 4-4 game, bottom of the 6th. And a pop-up high in the air, back of home plate. The catcher, Del Castillo, gives it a look. It's about 3 rows back from our vantage point to the left of the Orioles dugout. 1-2 to Huff, who has a big RBI double in this game. He drove in Mayo in the 2nd. Kevin Ginkel is 1-2. Huff looks at one that's just away, 2-2. A 4-seamer at 96. Seeing a lot of this Arizona bullpen. The Orioles got to it in no uncertain terms on Monday night. Different story last night. 2-2, the pitch. Fouled back with a pretty good rip. Right off the netting behind home plate, it remains 2-2. But right now, you want a bullpen game from here on out. What the Orioles have done out of their bullpen, you'll take your chances. A rubber game here in this series. The 2-2, cut and a foul tip. Held on to by the catcher, Del Castillo. 1 down as Blaze Alexander will bat. Ginkel, kind of an interesting reliever in the sense that it's his 8th season, and he has spent every day of his major league career with one team. You never see that when it comes to relief pitching, especially non-closers. 275th major league game and a career 3.91 ERA. Pitch is down, but Alexander went too far, 0-1. Ginkel, a 32-year-old from San Diego, California, broke into the big leagues in 2019 with the Diamondbacks. The 0-1, Blaze slaps it foul out of play off to the right, 0-2. Blaze single and stole a base in the 4th. He's also walked today, so he's 1 for 1. Looks like Grant Wolfram will come in to replace Kyle Bradish in this game. 0-2. Alexander lays off a slider, 1-2. It's one of those games, you love winning on getaway days, rubber games. Those feel like swing games. You win today, a 4-2 homestand, you're rolling. He hit the road against a good Cleveland club. Outside for a ball. Good take again by Blaze. 2-2. That's a tough 4-game series. By the way, I got to know how many consecutive years the Orioles have played a 4-game series in Cleveland. It feels like every year. The return series for Albarnez. Swing and a miss. That time, Blaze couldn't lay off that slider down and away. Back-to-back Ks for Ginkel. 2 outs, bases empty for Taylor Ward.
Recent events have kind of tempered that excitement for the Orioles' new manager and Craig Albarnez. We chatted with him a couple of days ago before the foul ball in the dugout hit him. He was really excited about going back.
Yeah.
People are really excited in Cleveland to see him.
Strike there, 0-1.
It is a two-way street. I mean, the entire building, you and I know Tom Hamilton very well, Jim Rosenhaus, they're broadcasters in Cleveland. It's the talk coming off the road trip for them, getting to see Albie.
The 0-1. That's low for a ball, 1-1. And like every other year, they are good, they are competitive, and they are contending for a pennant. 1-1 to Ward. Good time for his first Orioles home run. The pitch. He hits it foul out of play off to the right. Ward 0 for 3 so far today. That average all the way down to 310. Still leads the planet in doubles with 10 of those. And he's walked a ton. If he gets on, Henderson bats in the bottom of the 6th. 4-4 our score. Ginkel comes home. That's a ball. A very close pitch. Called a ball. And it's 2-2. Both teams, by the way, with one ABS challenge remaining. Here's the pitch. Into center field and shallow. It freezes Thomas. Now he walks in a few steps to his left. He makes the grab, and the Orioles down 1-2-3 in the last of the 6. We're 6 complete at Camden Yards. 4-4 our scores. We go to the late innings on the Orioles Radio Network.
From about 1905 to 1925 or so, teams actually issued cardigans as part of their team uniform. In that era, knitwear was actually having a heyday in sports. Think of ski sweaters or Argyle sweater vests on the Gulf Green. And baseball decided to jump on the bandwagon and create cardigans.
Kader Montero gets a ground ball to short. That's McGonigal with a long throw. Oh, man, target hit.
Ronald Acuna Jr. hits it high, deep, and gone. His first of the year ties the game.
Chris Bubich continues his brilliance tonight. 11 strikeouts in 7 scoreless innings.
Shoots to deep right center field. It's back. A 3-run home run to walk it off. Second straight night for San Diego. Holy sheets. Or how about just in the night? Max Muncy with a hat trick. Maxwell swinging the silver hammer. His second career 3-home run game. And the Dodgers victorious tonight, 8-7.
Brett Hollander and Ben Wagner back with you. Oriole Park at Camden Yards, top of the 7th, 4-4 game, a matinee here at the ballpark. Grant Wolfram into the game, his 8th appearance, 2.45 ERA. He has been outstanding. 16 punch-outs per 9 right now for the Wolfman. He has been terrific. Top of the order due up for Arizona. The big boys. Ketel Marte leads off. A switch hitter hitting right-handed. He squares around, he bunts it towards the mound. It goes past the pitcher. Charging Mayo tries to barehand it, but it goes right past him. It's going to be an infield bunt base hit for Marte. The go-ahead run is on in the bottom of the 7th. Even if Mayo barehands that, you don't love his chances. Marte runs well, although he is banged up a bit. You got to give Marte a ton of credit for a guy who's hit a couple of home runs in this series to be able to do that in a tight ball game. Left on left now is Carroll bats. Mayo in at 3rd. And this is driven. Right center field, fairly deep. Over is a center fielder. And Alexander has to play it on the base of the wall. It's a base hit. It'll be a double for Carroll. The Orioles get it in quickly. And the runner, Marte, stops at 3rd. And quickly against Wolfram, a bunt single and then a double off the base of the wall in right center field. And now it's 2nd and 3rd with nobody out.
Holy smokes, did this ever change quickly for the Orioles? I love the bunt attempt by Ketel Marte. They turned him around. The third baseman was back. He bunted with pace to clear the pitching mound. And you're right with his speed. I don't think the Orioles would have got him.
Perdomo will bat infield in. Jam shot, foul ball off to the right, 0-1 to Perdomo. Orioles infield in. Right now you need a punch out. In the worst way, there is double barrel action in the Baltimore pen. Wolfram, who has been a strikeout machine so far, he could really use one of those right now. Here's the 0-1. Ground ball hit to Henderson. Runner stays put at third. Henderson gathers himself onto first base. Perdomo out. That is huge. The sure-handed Henderson was positioned perfectly with the infield brought in. One down. Everyone stays put. Second and third in a 4-4 game in the top of the seventh.
And notice the Diamondbacks did not use the contact.
No, and they would have been toast had they. And now it's left on left as the catcher Del Castillo comes to the plate. Tyler Wells and Yanier Cano warming up in the Baltimore pen. A bunt attempt, a squeeze play, and he pulls back. And it's a ball outside, 1-0. The seventh inning is brought to you by the Maryland Mortgage Program, 7 steps to home ownership. Start your journey at mmp.maryland.gov. The 1-0. No bunt attempt here. A pullback or a half swing, and a strike is called on the appeal to third base umpire Chris Conroy, 1-1. We were talking about Andrew Miller, Wags, earlier, the trade that brought him to Baltimore for Eduardo Rodriguez when it sent Rodriguez to the Red Sox. Grant Wolfram is not Andrew Miller, but it's the same body type and similar stuff. The 1-1. Chopper back to the mound. It's over the mound. It will go to Henderson. A run will score. He goes to first base to get the out there. Another well-placed ball off the bat of the Diamondbacks. That was a little chopper that went over the 6'7", 6'8" frame of Grant Wolfram, and it leaked to Henderson. He had no chance even in to get the run at the plate, and now it's 5-4 Arizona. That is some bad luck right there. Had that been snared by Wolfram, I think he has him dead to right to the plate. He may have even just grazed off of his glove. And will the pitching change? Day is done for Wolfram, who will exit this game down a run. And this call, the bullpen, is brought to you by the auto loan experts at Point Breeze Credit Union, celebrating 90 years in your neighborhood. Pitching change here. Orioles will try and keep it as is as Cano enters this game.
A couple of spectacular catches in left field today by Laureano.
It's the Ramon zone. Rush Snyder goes up and he gets it.
That is a great play.
Look at Woo's face. Comes in, makes a sliding catch.
Deep in the hole, sets his feet, bullet across in time.
Another outstanding defensive display.
He says, yeah, I still got it.
Diving play by Weatherholt from his knees. He throws out Wood.
He's had a good game at second.
We had to give out gold gloves each and every game. I tell you what, this kid right here is getting one. It doesn't matter where he's sliding. If it's on the dirt, if it's on the grass, it's coming up in the glove.
Barroso's got it. Jorge Barroso with a rolling, sliding grab in shallow center.
Over near the railing, makes the catch. He goes tumbling into the netting over that short padded wall. He'll dive, and he got there. A head first tumbling grab from Austin Martin.
Diving play by Jazz Chisholm. He went Superman to get it.
Te encantan los jugadores. Te encanta el juego.
¡Y se fue!
Ahora puedes ser el dueño de grandes momentos del béisbol. MLB Auction te permite participar en la subasta de bates, bolas, jerseys autografiados y más, con artículos de tus equipos de grandes ligas favoritos, leyendas y jugadores agregados toda la temporada. Cada artículo es autenticado por MLB para asegurar que lo que llega directamente a tu hogar es original. ¿Quieres una parte del juego? Visita auctions.mlb.com.
Yanier Cano enters this game. Orioles now down 5-4 in the top of the seventh. Corbin Carroll's at third. Orioles infield can back up with 2 outs. This inning began with a Ketel Marte infield bunt base hit. It was a beauty. Then a double off the wall in right center. Second and third, nobody out. Grant Wolfram got a ground ball out to the drawn-in infield of Gunnar Henderson as Cano delivers a strike one to Jose Fernandez, 0-1. And then left on left, Castillo hammer one into the ground, and it was on a bounce just over the leap of Wolfram on top of the pitcher's mound, and Wolfram 6'8". And a run scored. A slider, frisbee out of the way. They appeal to first base, and Jen Powell says that's a strike. 0-2. Just down a run, but this has been a seesaw game on a Wednesday afternoon. Been a tough series here. Think about the Diamondbacks. These are hitters that we've seen them hit the ball out, and we've also seen them put the ball in play and be very pesky. And they know how to bunt. The 0-2, cut and a miss. Strike 3, side retired. Arizona gets the go-ahead run, but the Orioles do limit the damage. It was second and third.
Line drive, base hit, center field. Got a bird. Coming around third, DeRosa's going to win the ball game. It got by Crisp. It's a walk-off whip in the bottom of the 10th.
That ball hit the bird. It deflected. The Birds are out here. It hits a bird. He goes down for the count. How about that?
This one's for the Birds.
And it's 7 shutout innings for Jeffrey Springs.
Can't say enough about what Jeffrey Springs has done.
3 on, 2 out, 1-1 game. The payoff pitch, ground ball, right side, base hit, right field. Walner scores. Here comes Caratini. He will score. Biggest swing of the year for Brooks Lee.
Up the middle, and Junior is right there. Wow! Finney picks it on the right side.
You just won't see a better play than the one that Bobby Witt Jr. just demonstrated us tonight.
Sent to center, Dane Myers, the former Marlins deep retreat, extends and makes the play. Oh, a crazy crash into the padded wall.
A spectacular catch by Myers in straightaway center field.
Don't do that to a former teammate.
Bogey to deep left field. It's back. Slam Diego to walk it off. Bogey goes boom into a sea of San Diego.
Gets him the right parts. If John has time to put them in, he borrows a kit with Loan-A-Tool. And if he doesn't, he gets a free shop referral. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Deposit required for Loan-A-Tool. Restrictions apply.
Bottom 7, O's down a run. Kevin Ginkel on for a second inning of work out of the Arizona pen. Henderson, Alonso, and Jonathan Rodriguez due up, and the first pitch to Henderson is a strike. 0-1. Ginkel got a 1-2-3-6 with a couple of punch-outs. Gunnar so far today, 0 for 3. 5-4 Arizona in a back-and-forth game. Gunnar takes one down, 1-1. Some tough luck for Baltimore pitchers today, Wags, but give the Diamondbacks credit. They're putting it in play in big spots. The 1-1, Gunnar a cut and a miss. That slider from Ginkel's nasty, and it's 1-2.
They used the long ball with 4 home runs for the series opening victory on Monday night. Today, a lot of dinking and dunking. Every Diamondback starter has a base hit in the lineup today.
Yeah, they have 10 of those. The 1-2, Gunnar takes a ball. 2-2. Action in the Baltimore pen. Greg Alvarez really tries to spread the workload around. The pitch. Gunnar grounds one into right field. That's a leadoff base hit. Taylor Clark, the righty, warming up in the Arizona pen. Anthony Nunez warming up in the Orioles pen. But down a run, here comes Pete Alonso, nobody out in the bottom of the 7th. Henderson runs well, he has 3 steals. He'll take his lead from first. The pitch to Pete. That's low for a ball, 1-0. Alonso has walked twice today. He had his big moment in his very brief Orioles career so far. On Monday night, part of that dramatic come-from-behind victory. It came in the 7th. Down and away for a ball, 2-0. It was a 2-run homer in the 7th that gave the Orioles the lead. They were down 7-1 at one point, and they never relinquished that lead. They won the game 9-7. Toss over to first, Henderson back. 2-0 to Pete. There are some options right now on the bench for Craig Albernaz, including Dylan Beavers. The 2-0. Alonso looks at a strike, 2-1. But not the options he thought he'd have at this point in the year. There is no Tyler O'Neill, no Ryan Mountcastle, no Adley Rutschman at this point in the season due to a variety of injuries. There goes Henderson. The pitch is a strike, and he'll hold on to the ball. So Henderson swipes the bag. The tying run is in scoring position. Fourth steal for Gunnar. Alonso looked at a strike. He gave Gunnar a great chance. He had a huge lead, and wisely Del Castillo held on to the baseball. And something's happening at the plate right now between John Tom Payne and Pete Alonso, and I think Alonso's being called out. It's being called a pitch clock violation, and that's strike 3. Craig Albernaz is out. A huge turn of events here with the game on the line, down a single run in the bottom of the 7th, and a 2-2 count. John Tom Payne, the home plate umpire, called a pitch clock violation on Pete Alonso after a stolen base. Alonso is incensed, yelling from the Orioles dugout. Albernaz walks slowly back to the Orioles dugout. Now he turns around. He's a few more words for John Tom Payne. And I think we're going to have a pinch hitter. Scheduled up was Jonathan Rodriguez, but I think it's going to be Leody Taveras. That's unreal.
This is unbelievable because Pete is looking back at the catcher with his mask up after the stolen base, thinking like, all right, well, I don't need to be alert or aware, when the catcher is just kind of nonchalantly around home plate. That is a massive loss of feel.
Here's Taveras. Henderson at second base. Arenado pinched in at third, and Ginkel is off the bump to look back. Henderson at second base.
That is almost a balk right there.
I mean, that is unbelievable. We have seen the pitch clock for years now, and with 2 strikes, 7th inning or later, you just never see that. And it was kind of a chaotic moment. Taveras rolls one on the ground in no man's land. It links into left field. Henderson will score, and this game is tied. You talk about good things can happen if you put it in play. He rolled one between second and third with almost nothing on it, and it's found its way into the outfield. Right off the end of the bat, Henderson with a great read. He scored, and we're starting over in the bottom of the 7th. What an unusual game. Give Taveras another RBI. Cowser is batting for the first time, and he takes a breaking ball strike. Taveras has had so many of those. Just put it in play, and good things can happen. 5-5. Toss over to first, and back is Taveras, who can steal a bag. Ginkel, the relief pitcher, now at 28 pitches. Cowser batting for the first time in the spot of Weston Wilson, who made his Orioles debut today, went 1 for 3. Another toss over to first, and back is Taveras, the second disengagement, and now perhaps a running opportunity for Taveras. Leody has 75 steals in his major league career. There he goes. The pitch is popped up. Left field. Over is Barraza towards the foul line in fair territory. He makes the catch, and retreating back to first is Taveras. Cowser retired, 2 down. And here comes Mr. Jeremiah Jackson. Fans sensing a moment right now. You can almost feel the heat from his bat as he steps into the box. 2 for 3 today, an RBI single and a 2-run homer, his 4th. He leads the club in runs batted in with 14. Speed at first base, the pitch. Taveras goes too far on a slider, and it's 0-1. Jeremiah Jackson on some kind of heater. Taveras being held at first base. There he goes. The pitch is a line drive foul ball down the right field line. Taveras had a great jump. 5-5 our score. Bottom of the 7th. Good drama at the ballpark on a Wednesday afternoon. Not only is Jackson hitting, he's hitting down the count, and that's where he is right now, down 0-2. Right on right. Mayo would be next, but there are 2 outs. Taveras not going, swing and a miss. Strike 3, Jeremiah Jackson down on strikes. He's saying he thinks he made contact with that one, and it's a foul ball. But that's that for the Orioles in the 7th. They scratch.
Out to the gap again. Raley adjusting on the warning track. Jumps and Luke Raley makes the catch up against the wall. Jackson with a fly ball to deep left field. It's going. It's gone.
Orioles scored 7 runs.
Oh, Jeremiah Jackson goes deep again.
He doesn't want to look back. He just wants to stay positive and keep it simple, Chip.
He just did it. Another homer. Line drive bullet from Jordan Walker, his 8th. That ball tagged out toward left. Way back. Mike Trout has tied it. Trout sends one deep into the night. He's done it again.
And he has a home run here tonight. See ya. I'll go that way. Deep to left. See ya. There's your answer.
Well, a weird one on a Wednesday afternoon, and we've had a few of those, Ben Wagner, but Pete Alonso called out on a pitch clock violation. The Orioles eventually get the tying base hit, a roller, and I mean a slow roller into left field off the bat of Taveras. So we are tied as we go to the 8th inning.
And that score is 5-5, Brett Hollander, and Anthony Nunez is out of the bullpen to take over for the 8th time, trying to keep this game locked up. Ildemario Vargas, Nolan Arenado, and Alec Thomas scheduled to come up. First, the left-handed hitting Vargas against the right-hander. His first pitch is in there for a called strike 1. Orioles on the board first in the bottom of the 2nd inning. But Diamondbacks played it a pair to go in front in the 3rd. The score was equaled for the first time in the bottom of the 3rd inning when Baltimore got an RBI base hit by Jeremiah Jackson, who's had a massive day. The pitch by Nunez, swinging a ground ball towards the drift. Henderson is there, picks it up, fires onto first base in time to get the out. 1 up and 1 down. What else is new for Anthony Nunez? He's got a lot of soft contact against him. 2nd best opponent exit velo in Major League Baseball. The expected numbers are all top 10, and he's whiffing a ton of batters. He's had an electric arrival to the major leagues. He's got 1 down here in the 8th inning. And a first pitch strike to the veteran Nolan Arenado.
Well, this bullpen has been outstanding, Ben. Going back to April the 6th in Chicago.
Strike 1 pitch. That's downstairs from Nunez.
They have the 3rd best earned run average of any bullpen in baseball, 2.4. Opponents are hitting in that span just 157 against them. They're walking a very low number, 3rd best in baseball, and they're striking out a ton of batters.
The 1-1 pitch from Nunez. Fastball pulled foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And although the Orioles aren't getting a ton of length from their starters, right now that's middle of the pack. you at least have a chance. And I love the way Craig Albarnez is kind of spreading it out in the bullpen. There are semi-defined roles, but it's not like the 8th is yours, the 7th is yours. He's going to go with who is rested.
1-2, fouled away by Arenado.
It has not been rinse, wash, repeat, and easy to plan for if you're the opponent, other than Helsley getting the ball in the 9th.
That is the only thing that the Orioles can rely on. Other than that, it has been a pocket defined and a pocket executed by everybody. It doesn't matter the situation. Also, with all those great numbers you brought up, Nunez deals the 1-2. Half swing. Did he go? The appeal to first. Yes, he did. Another strikeout for Anthony Nunez. And there are 2 away. This Orioles bullpen has inherited 18 runners this season. They have left all 18 on base.
Well, that's freakish. That is really freakish. And it's not just Rico Garcia, although he is really having a magical start to his 26th season.
2 down in a 5-5 game here in the 8th. Alec Thomas, the speedy outfielder, bats. And the pitch by Nunez, slapped out a play off to the left.
One would think this bullpen could get better with the additions of Keegan Aiken and Andrew Kittredge at some point. But really good start to the season for kind of a no-name bullpen other than the 9th inning guy.
Strike 1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Boy, Alec Thomas was in the bucket there. And it's 0-2.
And I think there's a chance that Bradish, Boz, and Bassett start giving you a little more length. It should get even better.
Could the pitching staff be the hallmark? Nunez in front, 0-2, the pitch. Swinging a ground ball towards the middle. Jackson hustles to his right. He's got it with the forehand on to first in time to get the out. Thomas has outstanding speed. Jackson hustled for the play, and he helps Anthony Nunez fire another 0 with a 3-up and 3 down.
That's an owl, in case you're wondering. That's one of the few fans that looks at Canseco and says, who? What are they going to do? Expect they can pick up a baseball? Oh, poor baby.
You know, I did read it a year ago.
Yes.
Canseco absolutely loves animals.
Derwood Merrill.
Get away, Derwood.
Leave a little opening at the top, guys.
And you're just too stylish to have superstitions.
Zero. I can't do it. Too many collared cleats, too many gloves, too many batting gloves, too many bats.
I do put on my right glove first, then the left, then the thumb guard, then I put on my leg guard, my elbow guard.
Anything you put on first?
Nah, not really.
Nothing?
Nah. I like to say I'm not superstitious, but a little stitious.
The MLB app. Yeah, it's got game. This game. These games. All the games. Pre-game, post-game, and everything in between. This is baseball your way. With real-time stats, scores, breaking news, and custom content that hits every time. Because you choose the teams and pick the players you want to follow. So when they catch it on the field, you catch it on the app.
Birdland Military Appreciation Night is coming to Baltimore. Join the Orioles on Tuesday, April 28th, as they take on the Houston Astros. Honor those who have served and score in exclusive military cap. Grab your tickets now at Orioles.com/ticket packages.
That's Brett Hollander. I'm Ben Wagner. We're at Oriole Park for a rubber match between the Diamondbacks and the Birds today, tied 5-5. Kobe Mayo, Sam Huff, and Blaze Alexander coming to the plate for the Orioles. Mayo today is 1 for 3. It's been a frustrating day at the plate for him. He's rung up on a challenge call that he didn't make. The pitch in for a called strike from the new right-hander of the Diamondbacks. And Taylor Clark, his 10th appearance of the year, 386 earned run average, over 9 1/3, sub-1 whip. Good reliever out of the pen for the Diamondbacks. Rocks into the line, the strike 1 pitch. Mayo takes down and away, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Kobe was in discussion after that moment in which was a productive at bat. He doubled and then would eventually come in to score. Craig Albertaz said, hey, what was all that about? He said, I just kind of raised my arm. 1-1 pitch towards the hole. Diving stop made by Perdomo. Pops up, throws to first on a bounce. The dig by Fernandez to get the out. What a play by that premier position shortstop in Geraldo Perdomo. He gets Mayo, and there's one down. Orioles on the Farm is presented by Royal Farms. Don't forget your Orioles Cup the next time you fill up at Royal Farms. Enjoy discounted drinks all year long, only for the O's, only at Royal Farms. Here's Sam Huff, who's up from the Farm, and he drives one out to deep left field. Barossa back, feeling for the wall next to the notch, has room next to the 363 marker. Route number 2. Trey Gibson is going to pitch tonight in Durham, North Carolina for the AAA Norfolk Tides. He is one of the premier pitching prospects in the organization, and you think about the next wave ready to come to the big leagues, Trey Gibson's name should be right there on the tip of your tongue. Levi Wells, Nestor Herman is another one. 2 down here in the 8th. We're tied at 5. First pitch hacking. Alexander shoots it away off to the right, foul. And strike 1 on Blaze. One other thing that's really cool back in the organization, after hiatus since 2019, Frederick is a farm team again for the Baltimore Orioles. Had their opener last night. Alexander shoots one towards first. Diving stop made by Fernandez. He pops up and runs over to first base to get the out on Blaze Alexander. And defense is supreme by the Diamondbacks here in the 8th inning. 2 fantastic plays. One at short, one at...
His first pitch of the day. Ohtani is all over it. A towering shot in the air to right, and it is gone!
Back-to-back days for Ohtani with leadoff home runs.
And he hits another high fly ball to left. That one's deep. That one's back. That one is gone! Walker, 6 homers in his last 8 games.
Jose Soriano will lead this start as the major league leader in strikeouts. He now has 31 in his first 4 starts.
Harris back at the warning track, leaps up, and he makes the catch. He just took away a home run.
This is way back, and goodbye! His second home run. Back up the middle, caught by Terang. He's emerging as one of the great players in the game right now. Already a special talent defensively, but he's added the homers, the offense.
Wow. Old school D-backs jersey. This was our alternate jersey that we wore on Saturdays. I was the first team to wear the new colors. They called it Sedona Red. Don't mess up that color. Every time I wore this jersey, I would wear the high socks, black jersey, black hat. I just thought it was a really smooth look, and this is one that I'll never forget.
To move cancer care forward for you and for all of us. Learn more about this advanced care at hopkinsproton.org.
This copyright broadcast is presented by the authority of the Baltimore Orioles and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Baltimore Orioles.
That's Fred Hollander. I'm Ben Wagner on a beautiful afternoon here in Charm City. And a great ball game out in front of us, too. Moves into the 9th, tied 5-5. The bells have been ringing over the last minute and a half for Ryan Helsley. In the 9th inning, the work against Jorge Barossa, Ketel Marte, and Corbin Carroll coming up for the visiting Diamondbacks. A seesaw affair back and forth all afternoon long. Now, rest in the bullpens. Now to be defined, perhaps in this 9th. Time was called at the plate by Barossa. He's back in with an RBI double and 3 trips in. The pitch by Helsley. Fastball's high for ball 1. Helsley worked against the Diamondbacks on Monday night, and he might have turned in his sharpest performance with his entire arsenal that we have seen as an Oriole. The 1-0 pitch. Fastball bounced towards first. In between hop. Scoop by Alonso. Turns the corner and gets to first to get the out. Pete Alonso once again doing it at first base time and time again. That play was right on the grass of the infield. And if you're looking for an easy upgrade for your lawn this season, go with Pennington Grass Seed, the official partner of the Baltimore Orioles grounds crew. Pennington Grass Seed, the grass is greener. 1 up and 1 down. Top of the card with a switch hitter, Ketel Marte on the left side. The pitch from Helsley. Slider, swing and a miss. Call it a splitter, pardon me. That's the splitter against the left-handed hitter. He came to Baltimore and made his presence known on Monday, taking the first pitch of the ball game deep onto Utah Street. Strike 1 pitch, swing and a miss. And it's 0-2, doubling up on the splitters. And Marte is making another bid for the long ball. He became the 135th player to hit a home run onto the bricks next to the warehouse. A 440-foot blast. The 0-2, swing and a miss. Got him with a splitter. Good morning, good afternoon, and then good night on the splitter unleashed by Ryan Helsley. That is quite the weapon for the power right-hander. He's got 2 down in this ninth, presented by SeatGeek, the official ticket marketplace of the Baltimore Orioles. Corbin Carroll, the batter. A couple of doubles and a walk with a run scored. Takes a fastball up and away. Another left-handed hitter. Helsley this time stays with the heat instead of going with the splitter. He just unleashed 3 of them to Ketel Marte. The pitch. Tumbles high. That's the slider with the wrinkle trying to backdoor it, but it went elevated. Both teams do have an ABS challenge remaining. The Orioles have 3 mound visits remaining. The Diamondbacks with 2. The pitch. That falls in for a called strike. Another slider. Two down here in the ninth. 5-5 game. Helsley in the 2-1. And Carroll takes a fastball in for a called strike at triple digits. A 100.3 mile per hour fastball. Crowd started to make some noise. Ward, Henderson, and Alonso in the home half. The 2-2. Tapped away foul at the plate. Tie game. The 3rd game of this series, the final game of the homestand. Birds looking for the strikeout here, and the 2-2 is a four-seam fastball and a challenge.
On the field with the ball. The catcher's challenge.
The catcher immediately, Sam Huff, tapped the cap. Strike 3 on the bottom outside corner.
Challenge remaining.
Sam Huff was automatic with that strike 3 call. He knew it. Helsley racks up the punch out. Diamondbacks set aside 1-2-3. To the ninth we go. And the Orioles looking for their first walk-off winner on the other
line to Ketel Marte, who is there for the out.
Oh, crazy crash into the padded wall.
That is caught by a diving McMahon.
Normal size shortstop, that's a hit.
Altman slides, and Altman able to make the play. A basket snow cone catch from Platinum in center.
That is a nasty double play.
Judge catches, rolls, and got it, double play.
And he slides into a nice catch to take a double away. Vientos takes a tumble, gets up, shovels to first in time, rolling along.
Grichuk, he's at the wall, leaping, he makes the catch.
Ellie De La Cruz reached up to the heavens and came down with a baseball, and he doubles up Gus.
Up the middle, and Junior is right there.
That was gorgeous.
Jumping and throwing for 2. Wow!
Diving stop, Vargas to his feet, in time to retire. Bobby Witt Jr.
Coming on into a slide, making a nice grab.
What sleek hand.
Courage, determination, excellence. These are not just Jackie's values. They were a part of America's promise. In every child who dares to dream, in every voice that lifts and inspires others, Jackie lives on. Today we all carry him in every place where someone dares to belong. Jackie is not just baseball history, he is America's history. We are Jackie Robinson, and we all belong in this game.
Let's pause across the network. 10 seconds for station ID over the Orioles radio network. For Ryan Leschko, Alec Hildebottle, my broadcast partner, Brett Hollander, I'm Ben Wagner. It's a 5-5 game in the bottom of the ninth. Taylor Ward will lead it off against Ryan Thompson. The pitch from the new right-hander, whipped forward and a strike on the inside corner. And it is 0-1 on Ward, who lifetime against Thompson is 3 for 4. He starts off this ninth inning. Tall and slender right-hander comes home. And the pitch in tight. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, it'd be nice if he just ended this thing right now with 1 swing.
Go get it, big boy. Speaking of big boys, one is out on deck and one is waiting in the hole. Henderson and Alonso set to follow. The 1-1 over the knees for a called strike, and it's 1-2.
Tyler Wells is up in the Baltimore pen, as we expected, probably not pushing Helsley to 2 innings this early in the year.
There was a lengthy conversation with Drew French and Ryan Helsley in between innings, likely about that. The 1-2, swinging a high fly ball straight away center field. Ballpark's going to hold it as Thomas drifts back to his left and pulls in out number 1.
Birdland cheer on the O's on Saturday, April 25th against the Red Sox. Be one of 20,000 fans to score an Orioles hockey jersey presented by Lido Pizza. Buy your tickets now at Orioles.com/tickets.
Brett on the out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by Johns Hopkins Medicine. The next opponent for the Orioles playing in St. Louis today. They're in the 6th inning, tied 1-1, Guardians and Cardinals. Birds are in Cleveland tomorrow night. The pitch to Henderson, outside ball 1. The Johns Hopkins Medicine out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by Johns Hopkins Children's Center, the region's premier destination for pediatric care. Trust your child's health to the experts at Johns Hopkins Children's Center. Learn more at hopkinschildrens.org. The 1-0 to Henderson. On the inside corner and a called strike. 1 ball and 1 strike on Gunnar, who snapped an 0-for-11 streak with a single in the 7th. He came in on the RBI base hit by Leody Taveras to tie the game at 5. The 1-1 to Gunnar, way outside from Thompson, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Henderson has only seen Thompson once before. Overall, not a lot of experience with this sidewinder. Henderson swings and fouls it back. Count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. A lot of nervous energy right now in the ballpark. The pitch. Henderson drives it out of play off to the third base side. Count stays 2 balls and 2 strikes on Gunnar Henderson.
Of course, if Gunnar gets on, he's an immediate threat to go, and he can put a ton of pressure at first base on the opposing pitcher and defense.
Infield back in the 2-2. Henderson hits a hard ground ball, played on a backhand by Vargas on the short hop. Throws from second on to first in time. That ball was blistered by Gunnar Henderson. And credit Vargas for hanging with the play, too. It was on him very quick. There are 2 outs in the inning.
Yeah, he turned away from it, got that short hop, and may have prayed a little bit. Came up and made that play. Seen a lot of good leather today.
Can Pete have one more shining moment during this homestand? The pitch to Alonso, swinging a foul back. Boy, he had a nice cut at the sinker offered up by Ryan Thompson there. 1 in, and the Orioles get a win. Alonso, lifetime 0-for-2 against Ryan Thompson. 2 longtime National League vets. The pitch Swinging a ground ball towards the middle of the diamond. 2-hopper handled by Perdomo. Shuffle step onto first in time. Alonso retired. The Birds batted down 1-2-3. And we're going to the 10th. Tied at 5 across the Orioles Radio Network.
There are a couple of teams in Baltimore you know will.
The MLB app. Yeah, it's got game. This game. These games. All the games. Pre-game. Post-game. And everything in between. This is baseball your way. With real-time stats, scores, breaking news, and custom content that hits every time. Because you choose the teams and pick the players you want to follow. So when they catch it on the field, you catch it on the app.
Breaks the bat, and Magadan tries to get out of the way, and they're going to win the ball game. The bat almost hit Magadan. He ducked, did not catch the ball. I don't believe what I just saw. The bat was in half. He ducked to get out of the way. The bat did not field the ball. And the Mets are going to have a very, very tough loss. One of the most unusual plays I have ever seen.
And here's Schwarber. Schwarber grounded out his first time out. That ball's crushed deep to right field. Hernandez doesn't even move. It is long gone. It's off the roof of the pavilion in right field. Kyle Schwarber, his first postseason home run of the year. It's his 22nd of his career. And with a lightning strike, the Phillies tie it up at 1.
Well, I would say Kyle's second time through, I like the approach.
Wow. Well, the first home run for the Phils this postseason.
We're up to the 10th in a 5-5 ball game with this series up for grabs. Extra frames will solve it. We go to the 10th. We bring back the play-by-play from Brett Hollander.
Ben Wagner, thank you. Tyler Wells, 8th appearance. He's been pitching really well, but it will not be easy. The automatic runner at second base is the speedy Corbin Carroll, and he'll have to deal with Geraldo Perdomo to begin this top of the 10th. 5-5, first extra inning game of the year for Baltimore. Mayo way in at third and expecting a bunt. Right on left as Tyler Wells goes to work. And first he'll look Carroll back to the bag at second. Carroll has so much speed, he could steal third on his own right now. I'm not sure if you're doing that. And typically you don't see the road team play for a single run, but that's what the Orioles expect here with the number 3 batter of the Diamondbacks due up. Here's the pitch. Bunting is Perdomo. He pushes it towards Mayo. Mayo fields it, fires to first in time with Alonso on the bag, out number 1. He sacrifices Carroll to third base. Mayo did a nice job on that one. And now the Orioles infield will come in, and Adrian Del Castillo will bat. After a rocky start going back to a relief role, Wells has pitched really well as of late. Right on left here in the pitch. Breaking ball in the dirt and blocked by Huff. What a stop on that curveball. Maybe saved a run, and it's 1-0 to the batter.
With the speed of Carroll, it certainly saved a run, and a lot of the infielders recognize that too. Gunnar Henderson's body language, Pete Alonso's body language, they all told you how great of a stop that was.
1-0 the batter, Del Castillo. Orioles infield in. The pitch by Wells. That is outside at 94 and change. That is a firm fastball from the right-hander Tyler Wells, who might be in this game for a bit. We'll see. But this Orioles bullpen has pitched a lot these last few days. The 2-0 pitch to Del Castillo. He hammers this. Deep right center field. Alexander on a dead run. He's out towards the track, and that one is gone. A 2-run homer for Adrian Del Castillo, and the Diamondbacks have a 7-5 lead.
This guy's some kind of hot. Tripled earlier today, riding a 5-game, very loud hit streak through this road trip for the Diamondbacks. What a time to step up and get some contact again in this game.
Into the right field bleachers, 420 feet. Baltimore now down a couple. 1 out, bases cleared as Fernandez bats. And it's outside for a ball, 1-0. If you're Tyler Wells, You're not happy right now, but you got to get it in line. You start the bottom half of the inning, if there's no further damage, with a tying run at the plate. And you have to think in those terms. The 1-0. Fernandez tries to check his swing, and he does, according to the first base umpire, Jim Powell. So it's 2-0 to the batter. Wells, over his last few games, really had settled in. Last 7 innings, only 3 hits allowed. That's over 4 games. Really good for a relief pitcher. But he gives up the 2-run homer here in the 10th. Line drive snared at third base by a diving Mayo. What a play by Kobe. Whoa. 2 away.
Whoa is right, because it might have gone for extra bases. 0 time to react for Kobe Mayo on about a thigh-high laser off his left side.
And he was pinched in at third. 2 down. Both these teams playing great defense today, other than the tough play in left field for Weston Wilson, which was a 2-run triple. That's low for a ball, 1-0. And to be fair, thrusted out there, infielder by trade, really tough angle, tough spot in the ballpark. But there has been some impressive glove work today. 1-0 to Vargas in the pitch. Wave and a miss. Fooled badly by a changeup, 1-1. Orioles in the bottom half of this inning will start with Alonso at second base. Taveras, Cowser, and Jeremiah Jackson due up. The 1-1. That's down the right field line. That is a fair ball. Base hit and into the right field corner. Vargas heading for second base, and he will make it there standing as that ball is heaved back in. But it is a 2-out double, second hit allowed by Wells. Big run out there right now. With Arenado batting. Right on right, the pitch. A hard shot foul, third base side, 0-1. Orioles will commence their second road trip of the year tonight, heading to Cleveland, Ohio. 4 against the Guardians and then 3 in Kansas City before they return back home. They'd like to go and hit the road a 10-8 ball club. Winners of 3 straight series. The 0-1. There's a strike, 0-2. Runner at second, 2 down. 0-2 to Nolan Arenado. The pitch. A looper into center field. Blaze Alexander on the run. He cannot get to it. It bloops in there. He fires towards the plate. It's cut off. And it's a 3-run Arizona lead. 8-5 in the top of the 10th.
Goodness gracious. Again, soft contact coming back to really bite the birds.
Drew French out to have a conversation with Tyler Wells.
A couple of pitches in this frame, though, have been too fat, poorly executed, landing in the middle of the plate, and that's what happens. Contact. There's a lot of hit them where they ain't in the approach by the Arizona Diamondbacks. Their power surge was here on Monday night. That's basically been it for the season. But this is how the Diamondbacks win ball games.
A la the Toronto Blue Jays last year. No, they are putting in play and finding real estate. To be fair, Del Castillo did hit one 420 feet. But, yeah, they've been really tough, pesky at-bats, and they now have a 3-run, 8-5 lead in what's been a real seesaw game. And Wells not out of the woods quite yet. Runner at first, and Alec Thomas, a left-handed batter, will come to the plate with 2 down in the top of the 10th. And there's a ground ball sharply at the second. Jeremiah Jackson has it. Underhand flip to Henderson on the bag at second to retire the side. But major damage done. 3 runs on the board for Arizona in the top of the 10th. Last chance.
All your favorite games from MLB Play are back. Bigger, bolder, and better than ever. Test your skills with daily puzzles like MLB Pickle, the ultimate mystery player challenge, and Immaculate Grip, where stats and strategy collide. Then in Spinball, build your roster, take on your friends, and compete for the weekly prize. Or be the first to beat the streak and hit your way to the $5.6 million jackpot. Plus, the all-new Daily Walk-Off. Lock in your players by category for the walk-off win. The game's official home for games is MLB Play. Only on the MLB app and MLB.com.
A sartorial issue here. There's the team name, Chicago Cubs, so it does work.
It's got the right color.
Yeah, it's gray.
Maybe there was something went wrong with his other one.
1-1 to Marte in the air, right to the guy we just showed you.
Who's made the most noise in this game out of anyone. Shea drives it to deep center field. Varsho going back, still going as far as he can go. This game is tied. A crowd silencer in Toronto. A two-homer game for Langoliers, and we are all evened up at 2.
Knotted at 2s, and Langoliers gets one center cut and unloads, just pummeling baseballs.
Or after the game is always a great call. Real fresh, real fast. Royal Farms.
Today marks Jackie Robinson's historic Major League debut. Robinson's courage and determination in the face of adversity is as much an example now as ever before. Join baseball in commemorating Jackie Robinson Day and visit MLBtogether.com/42 to learn more.
Orioles get another look, Ben, at Juan Murillo. A 27-year-old right-hander enters this game trying to protect a 3-run lead. Murillo got 2 outs yesterday, gave up a couple of hits, a run, and walked 2 batters. The Orioles could use some wildness now. Alonso starts as the automatic runner at second, but the Orioles are down by 3, 8-5. Leody Taveras leading off for the O's. Taveras smacks his foul down the left field line, 0-1. This is an electric fastball from Murillo. That one just under 99 miles per hour. Orioles being out hit so far today, 13-8. But down 3. Taveras hits this foul back home plate, 0-2. Taveras came on late in this game and delivered an RBI single in the 7th. It's just been one of those back and forth ball games. But right now, the largest lead of the day goes to Arizona. The 0-2, ground ball left side. The shortstop Perdomo waits for it. On his way to first, just beats Taveras there, not by much. It was a lollipop throw. Alonso gets to third base, but there is 1 out.
There's a lot of nonchalance with that throw across the diamond. Taveras running pretty well, and Perdomo's throw was a little bit high for Fernandez. He left the bag, but came right back down with the toe on top of it just before Leody crossed the cushion.
That was so close.
Yeah.
You almost take that play for granted. No challenge. Alonso at third. Infield backed up ahead by 3 runs. Cowser the batter. Colton swinging a miss. 99 couldn't catch up, 0-1. Well, you love to get Jeremiah Jackson to the plate in a big moment. He is on deck. And he might be the hottest hitter on the planet. Up and away to Colton. 1-1. 8-5 Arizona with the lead in this rubber game. Bottom of the 10th at Camden Yards. Murillo sets above the belt. The pitch. Cowser looks at his strike. That was a changeup at 93, and it's 1-2. Murillo last year for Arizona got into 42 games of 4.19 ERA. Walked over 5 batters per 9. High there, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Orioles need another base runner to bring the tying run to the plate. The 2-2, outside ball 3. 3-2. Right now on the bench, the Orioles have Dylan Beavers and Samuel Basayo. And if this somehow gets to a Sam Huff, you might see Basayo. The 3-2 pitch to Cowser. Swing and a miss. He's down on strikes. 2 away, and now Jackson will come to the plate. Alonso still at third. That was, here's my best fastball. Let's see if you can hit it. And Cowser just couldn't get to it at the very top of the zone. This is right on right. Another big day for Jeremiah Jackson. 2 for 4 with an RBI single and a 2-run homer. His 4th on the young season. Jackson gets jammed. Shallow right field. Calling for it. The second baseman Vargas backpedaling. He makes the catch. And that's your ball game. Arizona scores 3 times in the top of the 10th. And they beat Baltimore on this Wednesday afternoon getaway day 8-5. The Orioles end up having a 3-3 homestand, and they're now back to 500 on the young season, 9-9 through 18 games. As we hit the road, Cleveland, Ohio, our next stop. Orioles fall 8-5 in 10. We're back with the totals next on the Orioles Radio Network.
This summer,
Vargas 1 for 3, 1-0.
Vargas hits it deep to left center. This one's got some carry, and it's gone. Eldemaro Vargas gets one back. Well, you're the DH. You're supposed to be the hitter, and he's been hitting a single and a run scored in the second, and a 2-out homer in the 7th, his first of the year. That went 431 feet.
109 miles an hour off the bat. That's a momentum breaker right there.
He's the ultimate argument for the 26-man roster.
Manny Pacquiao.
All your favorite games from MLB Play are back, bigger, bolder, and better than ever. Test your skills with daily puzzles like MLB Pickle, the ultimate mystery player challenge, and Immaculate Grip, where stats and strategy collide. Then in Spinball, build your roster, take on your friends, and compete for the weekly prize. Or be the first to beat the streak and hit your way to the $5.6 million jackpot. Plus, the all-new Daily Walk-Off. Lock in your players by category for the walk-off win. The game's official home for games is MLB Play. Only on the MLB app and MLB.com.
Here comes Owen Casey into a slide. He made the grab.
Oh, man, target hit. That is a wild effort from the rookie at shortstop.
Knocked down by Young from his knees, flips to first, and he leaps out, makes the catch.
Unbelievable catch.
We're doing some Merrill Madness for you. Holy smokes, what a catch by Little Leo.
O'Neal Cruz, tremendous play.
Nice play by Weatherhold on the dive. Spins around and throws it out.
PCA all the way to the wall. Alacaz got it. He covers all the ground out there. Taking a homer away. Makes the catch to end the ball game.
The old 4-6-3. Whether it was planned or not, who cares?
Long run for Harris.
Opens the glove, leaps into the air, and brings it down to win the game.
And McNeil smothers it as he goes to the ground. Welcome back to New York, Jeff McNeil.
Jump throw to first base, and Matt just picked it for the out. That is spectacular.
And 47 minutes to play. Orioles fall on getaway day. They fall in the series in this rubber game. They have a 3-3 homestand. The Orioles did not turn a double play today, but when they do, it's brought to you by Slocum Law. At the Mike Slocum Law Firm, we're tough because tough gets you more money. Over $1 billion so far. Injured after an accident, call the Mike Slocum Law Firm. So the Orioles lose 8-5 in 10 innings, and now they hit the road. Cleveland and then Kansas City on a 7-game road trip. We're back with more next on the Clubhouse Show on the Orioles Radio Network.
Time now for Orioles Clubhouse. Recap, highlights, and we hear from the locker room. This is the Orioles Radio Network.
This was basically a two-man game today. Jeremiah Jackson and Adrian Del Castillo trying to win it for their respective clubs. Late in extra innings, it was Adrian Del Castillo that got the final big blow, a go-ahead two-run home run, snapping a 5-5 tie in what was eventually an 8-5 win for the Arizona Diamondbacks, who take 2 out of 3 in this series. Diamondbacks will be off tomorrow. They go back to the desert to begin their next homestand. Meanwhile, we mentioned the road trip in front of the Orioles, a 4-game series against the Cleveland Guardians that begins tomorrow night. We'll have more about that. But let's rewind this one. It was an interesting day at the ballpark, Brett Hollander, because for the first time in 17 games, going into game number 18 of the regular season, the Orioles finally got to see a left-handed starting pitcher. It was a number that was slanted in favor of their opponent last year, being a left-handed starter. Craig Albernaz shook up his lineup, had a new look, and also a lot of greenness, I think, in the outfield. And there were a couple of times that perhaps the soft contact by true outfielders may have turned into outs, maybe not big plays or the extra base hits that you expected. In the end, it became a seesaw game, and the final blow in that 10th inning belonged to the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, and it's frustrating because you think the last 2 nights there was a game to be won. The Orioles have played in a lot of weird games these last few days. They've won some of them too, but last night Arizona comes from behind. They score 4 runs in the 5th. That's the only time they score all game. They get a 3-run homer from Vargas, who's in that spot because of a late scratch to the lineup with Marte. Today, there is a lot of weak contact. We have to credit the Diamondbacks for putting the ball in play and giving their team a chance. The Orioles did some of that, too, today. And although I thought they worked really good at bats against Rodriguez, they never could really deliver the big knockout blow. And Eduardo Rodriguez, who's pitched really well against his former organization, doesn't factor in the decision today, but I guess he gave his team a chance to win. Big picture, I liked what I saw from Kyle Bradish. It was better. The stuff was better. The command was better. The walks were way down. He had to walk 3 batters in 3 consecutive starts to begin the year. Only 1 walk today. I thought everything was really moving, and the velo was up, and the command was better. So that bodes well for the Orioles' big picture. Unfortunately, you get into an extra inning game. It's kind of a coin flip.
Yeah, unfortunately, with that, in a way it set it up, too. You got the speed of Corbin Carroll on the bases, too. Yeah. You can manufacture a run, and that seems to be the calling card of the Arizona Diamondbacks this season. They're going to be a pesky club. And, of course, they've got a real challenge with the Los Angeles Dodgers in that Western Division. San Diego Padres feel like they should be able to make a run in that division as well. Who knows what the Giants' identity is. They're going to be a fun club to watch. And the Orioles, I think, are searching for their identity still a little bit, too. But what we learned about Kyle Bradish today, taking a step forward, and the dent will go against Tyler Wells and the runs that came in the 10th inning. But by and large, we saw a really good series from this Orioles bullpen again.
Yeah, the bullpen was really good until the very end of the day today, as you alluded to, Wags. And, that's a rough patch. To be fair, come September.
Pop quiz. How do you go from Captain Clutch to the Iron Horse through a milestone and a marathon? The answer is on Hall of Fame Connections.
The captain, Derek Sanderson Jeter, is one of the winningest players in Major League history. He was wearing these very batting gloves when he notched one of those most memorable hits, the 3,000th of his career.
Are we supposed to spit in them like they do the batting gloves?
No spitting. This is a non-spitting museum.
He's just the second player in history whose 3,000th hit was a home run. The first was a former teammate from the Yankees' 1996 World Series championship team. But before he began his Cooperstown-bound career, Boggs would cross paths with another future Hall of Famer. September 6, 1995, the Iron Man played his 2,000th 131st consecutive game, surpassing the unbreakable record of the Iron Horse.
Now that's how you pass the torch.
Catch every episode of Hall of Fame Connections on MLB.tv and discover your own connections to the game at baseballhall.org.
I can't imagine transitioning from loving baseball cards to then knowing it's inevitably coming that you're going to be on baseball cards. What was that moment like?